Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the most magical podcast in all of the internet. Welcome to the Diz Idiots. We're the idiots, so you don't have to be. I felt like doing something a little different tonight. You know, we got our normal people here. We got some Bruce over here.
Cheers, folks.
He's in a different corner today. We have Brian up here.
Hello, Peter.
That about sums it up. And, you know,
Well played.
what if? What if we had an extended scene of...
Howard the Duck.
I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but that's for later.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, you know, first, you know, I feel like we actually have Disney World news that dropped for a change. Big Disney World news.
You could say it appeared out of thin air. You rubbed a lamp
I got on an elevator and it was suddenly enchanted. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, huge Disney news. For those who aren't aware or who haven't been to the parks in a while, Fast Pass is gone. That's right.
Should we have a moment of silence for Fast Pass Plus, or should we all applaud and cheer? I don't know which way to go with that.
I think we should go old school Boy Scouts. Let's give it a round of applause.
Yeah, so love it or hate it, what you will. The old ticket style, the old reservations ahead of time, all that is gone. Starting this fall, they are launching what is called the Genie app. Now, there's two versions of the Genie app. There is the complimentary, which is included in your My Disney experience. And there is the paid service, which is the Genie Plus figures, because, you know, everything with a plus symbol costs additional money.
What's with the plus? What's with the plus? Is Disney Plus, Genie Plus?
Is it a streaming service? Is it like Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Discovery Plus?
My gosh.
I'm tired of pluses.
It's going to get confusing. Plus what?
Plus money. So the complimentary service will actually give you up-to-date wait times and recommendations of when to ride certain. So the way how the Genie thing is set up, the Genie service, is that it is your own personal assistant through the park. So when
your
you make
concierge, if you will,
your concierge, let me take your order and he'll jot it down for you because you never had a friend like him. Okay. So the way how it works is whenever you create your My Disney experience, it basically feels out what you want to get out of a vacation. So depending on your likes, your dislikes, basically it's trying to personalize your own way of celebrating your vacation in the easiest way possible. So in that sense, it'll give you up-to-date wait. So like, let's say if you want to, you know, you like the thrill rides, it'll give you recommendation thrill rides like Big Thunder Mountain, Everest, so on and so forth. And it'll give you wait times up to date throughout the day. The Genie Plus service is where you get your fast passes. Now, this is where it can be a little tricky. $15 per day per ticket. So it's per person. You can add your Disney Genie service to your Genie Plus service to your My Disney experience. Disneyland is going to be $20 per day per ticket. There are only going to be 15 rides available in Disneyland for the Genie Plus service for the fast passes. They haven't announced which ones. Walt Disney World will consist of up to 40 rides for fast passes.
Not to cut you off, Brian. Is this specific? I'm being serious here. Rides or attractions?
Rides.
Okay.
Because the attractions haven't fully been open yet for, you know, cast members, like the Enchanted Tales with Belle and all that stuff hasn't been reopened yet. So
well, yeah, just because they can, you know, there's ride-on attractions and more show attractions. That's
right.
I wasn't sure if, you know, I just for clarity for people watching, just in case, you know, we have a snob out there going, what does that mean?
So yes, it's as of right now, it is just the Fast Pass rides. They have not announced which rides will come with the Fast Pass Plus. I'm sorry, Genie Plus. We have to get the new lingo term here. Genie Plus will consist of certain rides that will have the fast pass queue for them. Now, here's the kicker.
The lightning lane, you mean?
The lightning lane.
Ugh, I hate that name.
There are also, in addition to the Genie Plus service, there will be premium rides, which will not be included into the Genie Plus service. These premium rides will be an additional fee for a fast pass per ride. Certain rides, they didn't officially say, but some examples.
Gee, I wonder what.
Rise of the Resistance, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Ratatouille, and what was the fourth one?
Flight of Passage?
No.
Really?
They did not say Flight of Passage.
Color me stunned. Stunned.
They did not say, as far to my knowledge, I don't recall them saying Flight of Passage. The big ones were Ratatouille's Adventure, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
One at each park.
Right. However, I have strong suspicion this is going to be from every new attraction that will open up from here on out will most likely be an additional fee for a fast pass that will not be part of the Genie Plus.
My guess is they will begin to phase out attractions from the paid to the free tier as popularity wanes, or I should say lines stabilize. That's a better terminology.
Well, you also have to consider this could also factor into capacity, such as risers. Think of the attractions you just listed. They're going to have they all have lower capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
that's just simple as that. It just I can understand that, and you know what? I respect that. They're being upfront and honest about it. I respect that because, frankly, this all could change as we go anyway.
Now, here's what I really, really like about this new system. No more 30, 60, 90 days out in advance for reservations for your fast passes. It's the day of. When you make your reservation to the park, as soon as the park opens, you're allowed to make your fast passes that day.
You're first.
And only. Well, not only. I'm sorry. You're only allowed one fast pass per turn. Like you have to, you make.
Yeah. Now, is it one per attraction per day?
Well, no. Well,
old school fast pass rules.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I'm making sure. That's what I assumed. But your other paid services have gone. You get one per ride per day. Old school fast pass rules again. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, essentially it is the old school fast pass rules just digitalized. Also, this whole new system reminds me of when Disney first reopened with the booklet, where you had A through E ticket attractions. The more advanced, high-end, like amazing thrill rides were the most money. So you're going to see that with the newer attractions. They're going to be these big E-ticket attractions where they won't qualify in Genie Plus, but for an additional fee, you can purchase a fast pass ticket. Now, some people, this is where a lot of arms are thrown up by saying this is ridiculous, this is uncalled for. I get it in a sense that
smart people will.
Yeah, I get why they're doing this. It's a way to honestly control the crowds in one sense, and also too that it guarantees you a ride. If you purchase a fast pass like a lightning lane for rides, you're guaranteed admission.
Well, more than just guaranteed, it's also this. I'm not to cut you off. I'm gonna let you continue here. This is beneficial for a reason. I'll touch on it in a second. This is very beneficial.
Well, this is where Disney's going to make up their money from COVID. I think
more than just making up their money from COVID, this will cut down on standby lines.
Yes, that's
absolutely.
it.
That is the key. And now, if it may not, depending on how this goes, but that's the key here. There's a reason I think they're doing this, which again I'll touch on. And I don't want to cut you off too long, Brian, but I will touch on.
Oh no, it's fine. That's pretty much a summary. I did copy and paste slides, but that's pretty much the gist of the information. I may have missed out one or two things, but ideally you have basically 3-tier options. You have a standby tier, you have the Disney Genie Plus, and then you have the premium service. Now the premium package or whatever, the individual per ride, I'm going off of what Disneyland Paris is doing. So Disneyland Paris, every ride has a fast pass with a fee. So there's ranges from anywhere between, in American currency, it's from $7 to $15. I'm going to assume that's going to be the same prices in Florida and California. I'm expecting the higher, like your Rise of the Resistance is probably going to be $10, $10 to $15 ballpark.
I am expecting
Make it
dynamic pricing.
Yeah, dynamic pricing, and for that, make it honestly for some attractions like Rise of the Resistance. I think that's going to people make it rain because think about it. It's so hard to get a group. Where I think Disney somehow came onto this, I could be wrong. I'm thus what authority I am. They see a park down the street who just opened up a brand new attraction that is blazing people through. Their wait times, granted it's during COVID times, but their wait times are rarely over an hour, hour and a half.
You're not talking about Velocicoaster, are you?
I certainly am. And they're a brand now because again, I know has higher capacity than the other new attraction that also has different capacity issues because it was built improperly. But I'm not touching upon that. Hagrid's and that stupid, terrible wobble wobble lubba dub dub and magical coaster, magical creatures.
Why do we have a brake stop in the middle of a valley?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You guys know what I'm talking about, but I think that's part of.
And what creatures do you see on this ride besides one thing that looks like a bear scorpion? I mean, there's like a unicorn near the end, but like it goes so fast you miss all the creatures.
I have yet to even try to go on it. I'm going to try this year, but that's again not like we're Disney podcast, but that's why I think Disney focused in on this. Is it goes, hey guys, we're doing something wrong, but look at what they're doing. And they're getting good press for it. Besides, you know, what other attractions are opening up in Central Florida or in Florida in general this year.
Ken, my theory on how will this work is how they will manage large groups.
Yeah.
Will you still get boned by the Brazilian tour group coming through and 42 members subtly joining the queue? Will they make all those people have different apps? Will there be a cap on how many people you can have in your party?
I would say yes, because when you look at the capacity, like the vehicles, there's 8 to a vehicle. I'm assuming it's going to be up to 8 people per party.
I'm going to say 10.
10?
10 allows a good general extended nuclear family.
Okay.
Mom, dad, kids, grandparents. That's kind of where I come to my number
10,
from.
I could see 10. Realistically, it could be as far as they could be a party size. I guess what can fit on the guest assistance pass. They could do that, which I don't know what they're doing these days. But that's what they could also be doing. That again, just an option. Frankly, I don't hate this. Like I know some people are up in arms. I think this again. I see this. We're all going off of it. It's certainly not. We're going off of what you're hearing right now. We haven't actuated this, and again, they're going to actuate other places. We got to see how it happens. And things are going to change with this. Like when they rolled out My Disney Experience in Magic Bands. It's gonna be a disaster at first. It may not be, but it's probably gonna be a disaster at first. I think this is a fine-tuned way of doing it. I know some people are against the paying thing, but you know what? This all has to come down to how they operate. And frankly, the way we're supposed to operate is for 100 guests, 60 standby, 40 fast pass, 60 to 40. Done. It never would work that way. They would dump the fast pass, take 10 from standby. This could really, really be beneficial. It may not. They may have to change as they go. You don't know what attractions could come and go off of this. And literally, remember, folks, an attraction could be pulled from Genie Plus the day you're at the park at any time. And if you balk at that and go to complain, read the back of your ticket. I know they don't have tickets anymore, but look online.
My general guess is everything is going to be dynamic depending on the day.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I'm going to pick an attraction. Going to go with Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep.
Has high capacity, so it's probably not one of these attractions. But most days, normal paid Genie service, you're good. Christmas Day, premium tier.
Yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with that. That's how a lot of other parks work it. And I know some people that, and again, I'm not knocking this because it works a lot of the other places. It works great. My thing is not just the bottom line of making money, but this is going to make money in the sense that if it affects the bottom line in a positive way, not just that, if you're getting more guest satisfaction of, I got on twice as many attractions on a busy day as I normally would.
Well, and actually, here's another funny side story to Disney news right now. Because of these tropical storms that were supposed to hit Florida like last week, Rise of the Resistance actually did not have virtual queue. They were letting people walk right on. There was no one in the parks.
So what you're telling me is it is possible.
It is possible.
They're just a bunch of, not going to say that, just in case we have kids. But, oh, what the hell? They're a bunch of assholes. Kids will say this. If you happen to have kids watching, don't use that language.
It's okay.
Plus, so I mean, we're talking like 5-minute wait time for Flight of Passage.
I did see that. It was ridiculously slow this week. In like even today, I saw down in the parks in general, all across Central Orlando was just.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, come September, I'm thinking like, oh, come on, please give me like a tropical watch.
Bad. No, absolutely not. I'm going down right after you. Shut your mouth. Don't you dare. Stop it. Brian.
All right, 2 weeks. Just give us a 2-week window that, no hurricanes at all, but no one's down there.
I just need till the 27th. That's all I need. September 27th is all I need. After September 27th, shutdowns, hurricanes, whatever they want to do, have fun.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so, I mean, counterpoint, I see the other side of this because of how much money people are paying to go to the park. The idea that you're telling me that now I have to pay an additional fee to guarantee admission to a ride that I should be able to ride anyway because I'm spending so much money.
But you're not.
Right. Because here's the thing, too, and this is for people that are listening, tuning in. There is no guarantee that you're able to ride every single ride that's down there when you go on vacation. Trivia question. When did the Walt Disney World Railroad close?
At some point.
You do realize it's been closed for about 3 years now.
I was going to say, no, I was like, it's at least, I actually want to say, I was going to say 4. I'm like, it's not 2, it's over that. It's either 3 or 4, but I want to say 4.
It's about 3.5 years.
Is it 3.5? Okay.
It's about 3.5. It's about 3.5 because Tron's coming. So it's been closed. So the past 3 years, people could not ride the Walt Disney World Railroad. So in this sense, like, when you go down to Disney, there is no guarantee with or without a fast pass that you're able to get on your rides.
No, attractions. And actually, here's a good question, Brian. Did they address this? What happens when attraction goes off? Well, when it goes 101, or if there's a lightning storm? Did they just not that I think they need to have this?
Nope, they didn't go into
that's
those.
Fine,
like,
that's fair. I didn't think so.
This was just like cut and dry. Like, this is the software. This is what's going to be launching come the fall. This is from here on out. This is what we're doing.
Frankly, I have an idea in my head after being a cast member once. There's a simple way of doing this. Here's a re-ad. Good luck. Go on to another attraction.
Right.
Come in person to get it. But that's, that's the thing. Like I said, on the back of your ticket, attractions come and go, refurbishments go.
Yep.
You would never guarantee that a particular attraction is going to be running at a particular time on any given day. Hell, if they guaranteed that, Rock and Roller Coaster would be really ranking some chains here because they have reliability issues.
So let me ask you this question. Come Princess and the Frog layover, do you think that is a Genie Plus, or is that a premium Fast Pass purchase ride? What do you think that's going to be when that opens up?
because of the capacity of, well, that's because it's a high capacity attraction. It depends. First off, who knows if Genie Plus is around when that happens? My understanding, we are nowhere near.
I know.
And also, there's a lot that depends on that. I don't think it would be a premium necessarily. Yes, because here's the thing: it's not a new attraction; it's an overlay. The same thing as with Frozen changed. It was the same standard attraction.
True.
Nothing
Which
changed.
was the problem there because it had shit capacity.
Thank you.
Right.
You're reading my mind. Thank you, as you normally do. But that's being also remember. The reason I could see it being premium. Period. It is a water attraction in Central Florida. Remember here, kids. From March.
It's hot.
From March till November, and even in November and whatnot, you're gonna want to ride it. In general, you're gonna want to ride it. It's wonderful.
Well, and I'm just thinking of popularity, because look how big Frozen Ever After is for popularity. Like I'm honestly contemplating that could be a premium.
Frozen was still hot.
That's a capacity issue.
Two things: capacity issue, also property, and well, actually three things. Consider what's in that park for kids that they would know, attraction wise. That was a hot. The reason they did it, it was hot. So it made sense for the change in a way, but it has terrible capacity. It's a low capacity attraction. They left everything the same. They're doing the same thing with a better attraction.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing, and I think it's what will make Genie work, is the overall utilization of it. I'm purely guessing at these numbers. I have no inside information. I'm going to say the original Fast Pass system had probably about a 50% utilization of guests. About half your guests used it, about half never used it because they couldn't figure it out. I think
it's higher than that.
It probably is, but I'm keeping my numbers simple today. I am going to say Fast Pass Plus had a higher utilization rate because while people had more difficulty figuring it out, they now clearly saw it as a service they had paid for already.
Right.
And they got, they looked at it 60 days out for some of the people. So I'm going to say that had a higher utilization rate, taxing the system more. Now you are looking at a per day additional charge, meaning not everybody's going to use it, and probably people aren't going to buy the paid service for every day of their trip.
This is true. That's the other thing that's nice about the Genie Plus service is that you can add it on when you buy your ticket packages before you go down. As a travel agent, like once this launches, I can actually add that to the packages. So if someone wants to get more information on Genie Plus, or if they want to add it prior to going, I can add that on their package for them.
Can they add it while they're down there?
They can.
I'd assume so, because let's face it, you want to give us money? Thank you.
Yeah, no, they can add it as long as the day of at the park, they can purchase the $15 fee. Now, what's also nice, it's not just Lightning Lane passes that you get with Genie Plus.
You get touring plans.
Well, no, you actually get a couple other goodies. So in addition, you get what's called audio experiences. Basically, these are little mini videos. What I'm assuming is going to be stuff that you find on Disney Plus, the behind attraction footage episodes. While you're waiting in line in the queue, in the fast lane queue or whatever, throughout your park, you can watch artist studio videos with information regarding the rides and the attractions.
I have a problem with that.
Well,
I don't like that. I have a big problem with that for varied reasons. But wait. When you're finished, get ready, because I have two words who are ready to come out flying. Continue.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
So, for Disneyland guests, they will receive their Photo Pass downloads immediately with their Genie Plus service.
That's nice. That's a perk.
Walt Disney World will have what's called Photo Pass lenses. These lenses are augmented reality photos. So whenever you take photos, magic happens on your phone with certain Disney characters that pop up. Something that's exclusive on Genie Plus.
So PhotoPass is going to stop doing that then.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
They sucked at getting those photos up anyway.
Yeah.
Half the photographers were like, "Oh, well, I don't really know the exact spot for it."
I'm fine with that. My big thing here, hold on, let me just character integrity. I had it like that.
Bruce?
Yes.
I see your character integrity.
Yeah.
And what I foresee is it is not going to be as detailed. And
I know, but it's still the whole, when you're down there, not everybody wants to. People are gonna, if you're overhearing this in line for attraction, not just there's kids. I don't know. To me that I'm not knocking it. I personally am like that. I can see that being the whole rumor. It happens. Watching the sausage gets made kind of thing. I know what you, Gozer, I know what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you.
You don't know what I'm going to say. Do you have any clue what I'm going to say? What am I going to say?
I don't know. I thought I did, but continue.
What I'm going to say is very little information. Very little information has been released on what these audio experiences will be.
Yeah,
right.
It could very well be in kayfabe. It could be the backstory of Jungle Cruise. You could be learning of the story of your skipper.
No. That's what I thought you were going to say. On the money. That's exactly what. Come on, we share a brain here, buddy. That's exactly what I thought you were going with. I agree with you. It could be that. And what?
I'm drinking to that.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get mine too. Hold on.
No, that's it. And see, that's what I'm hoping, because that imagine this. Picture if you will. Big Thunder Mountain. I think that would be excellent. Spoon feeding some of these attraction stories to you, I think would be awesome. So if it's utilized in that way, I agree. I'm just afraid I'm just afraid you got people who want to see behind the curtain. And frankly, when you're down there, you don't need that. I doubt it. Do I think they're actually going to do that? No. The magic is sacred.
I think you will see behind the curtain on some, but
those are attractions that probably are okay with, though.
They are going to be the legacy attractions. You will see behind the curtain on Haunted Mansion, an attraction that you could basically see how it works anyway.
Listen, because there's a certain, I'm okay with that. There's certain attractions, pirates, Haunted Mansion, a ghost ain't following you home. Just checking, you never know.
So,
but do they though? But do they?
That's why I just looked at, Brian, you didn't see, I just quickly looked over my shoulder. Just checking. It's Gus. Gus is the one. Ezra too. Ezra may follow you home. Phineas is a good boy. He ain't gonna follow you.
But no, I could see, and it might even be 2 tiers of audio experiences. You might get the behind the scenes one that is not recommended for children, because it's magic breaking, and then you have the one in story. You might have 2. You never know. Maybe you'll have the ride through the original Figment while you're in your Lightning Lane for Figment, because for some reason you use Lightning Lane on Figment.
That's just wrong. Why would they do that to us? Why would they give us the original?
They can't. They wouldn't have enough time.
It'd be longer.
The line ain't ever going to be that long enough.
Look, just know there are people that are going to Lightning Lane it.
Look, 2 tiny wings, eyes big and yellow.
They just need to rip that Band-Aid off. Just get rid of that Eric Idle Imagination Institute of Technology and just give me back the Dreamfinder. Just give me back the Dreamfinder.
Dreamfinder ain't coming back, kids. It's not happening. If Figment's replaced, it's replaced by, because at this point, that wouldn't be, if it's replaced, or replaced with something wholly original or IP.
Inside Out.
But
Inside Out.
But continuing down my path, I think the utilization for the paid service will be 40% or less.
Let me ask you guys this. If the price is fair, would you pay for the premium service? So here's the thing. You can do either or. The premium service, you don't have to pay for a Genie Plus to ride these premium service rides. You can do that just outright. It's like iTunes. like like $9.99 for an album.
Here's a question I have. So, and they could change this as they go, as they figure things out. I've paid for the Genie Plus already.
Right.
I paid my $15. Rise of the Resistance is $10. If I didn't pay for Genie Plus, is it going to be $15 or is it going to be $9 or?
What do you mean?
Like they could, if you paid for the paid service, might you get a discount on the other premium rides?
No, they're separate altogether. They're separate altogether. You don't get a discount. So it's basically if you pay for the Genie service for $15, it'll give you up to these 40 attractions listed. If you wanted to do Rise and it's not listed, Rise will be a separate price altogether in addition to the Genie Plus.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And I can fully see that. I am just saying, since they're doing it separate, I can also see them, at least maybe not initially, maybe down the road, offering a discount for the people who paid for the premium service, the Genie Plus already.
Maybe, but I don't know.
The problem with that reason I don't think they would, because one, money. Two, it becomes not a fair thing. Whoa. How come this party next year just upgraded to that for less than I paid for it?
And then the third reason too would be that everyone now is going to pay the $15. So what's the point about the fast passes? We're back to square one again.
Nobody's going to pay. Not everybody's going to pay the $15.
No, I'm just saying. But if they know that there's a discount for these premium rides, that yes, it would entice everyone to pay the $15 for the Genie Plus. But then that means everyone has Genie Plus, and now there's
at the outset. I think you're going to have a lot of people who are going to pay for it be angry because they're going to realize it's not as beneficial. That's when you're going to have people going, "We don't need that. We're good."
Well, and here's the other thing too that I've gathered from the information. The people that really benefit from this service are the park hoppers. If you are not planning to park hop, I would not spend an extra $15 to get your fast passes in.
Well, it depends on also how often you go in the length of your stay. If this is your first time at Disney, I could see people doing this.
Oh, sure.
Easily.
Yeah, to see and do everything, absolutely.
The other thing that we haven't touched on is it does include a touring plans like service, whereas the Genie makes recommendations. He also tells you what time to ride to encounter the lowest line.
Well, part of my thing with that is I know what they say. I also, unless things have changed, I pray that they have. Unless you're still relying on cast members and flip cards. That's why the late times are never that accurate.
No, you have you're going to have a cast member in your pocket. It's going to, it's all the same stuff. And it's never that accurate. But with this, they have an additional bonus. So Touring Plans is a great service. It tells you when you'll encounter the lowest lines. And this will presumably do that. It'll guide you through the park in a way. They have the ability to divert people.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can go, we've sent the first 1,000 people to Jungle Cruise. Well, we better send the next group over to Pirates to ride first.
Yeah, I see. I see your point, and I agree. I just, again, it will be good. Not at first. It's good. No. That's where they're going to have, to me, more than the paying thing, the biggest learning curve is going to be listen, first, I just wanted you guys to know, this has been coming for so long.
Yeah.
They've been working on this. Genie, this was supposed to come out with
2 years ago.
No, Fast Pass Plus.
Well, wait a minute. I thought it was 2 years ago when they announced at like the big D23 Expo that they were launching.
No. Even this was being blue skied. So it was supposed to be to the extent of, we saw you like this. Here's a coupon to try that. They were working on this for a long. That's why I wanted to just assure people this is not something that just came up.
Right.
This has been, like most things Disney does, this is well thought out. This is going to be good event. Again, it's going to have some bumps. Eventually, this will be very good, and it will be beneficial. I think more than your aficionados, this is going to be beneficial for people who are going, this is my first time. Well, what do you want? Oh, Johnny wants to ride dumb. I don't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Especially like the complimentary service for first-time families definitely will help them out because it'll ask questions like what movies do you like? Like, do you like Toy Story? Like, what Disney films do you watch as a family? And that stuff will actually help plan out your vacation.
And on top of that, what they really need and what will happen at first, your diehards will be testing this, and they're going to test Genie. And at first, it's going to seem like they're being jerks, but that's what they need. When they test this, they need us. They need the diehards who know what they're doing. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Point yourself. They need the tour. They need tourist agents, travel agents. Jesus. They need travel agents. They need people who are experienced because they're going to be able to say feedback of what's working, what's not. I found this worked, that worked. I agree, I disagree. This is a work in progress, like everything. And I truly believe, and I know some people are going to say I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this. I truly believe this is not a people in a glass house in a mountain idea. I truly believe this is going to be fleshed out, and that this isn't just going to be executives saying, "Here's what we think." This will work eventually. I truly do think this is the ultimate solution. This could end some lines being, not Peter Pan where we have no capacity.
Right.
It's going to help pirates, and it's no longer going to be a 45-minute wait as it was with Fast Pass Plus.
Oh,
I know. Or even like Haunted Mansion too. Haunted Mansion. I'll never understand why they had a Fast Pass for Haunted Mansion. It's an Omni Mover ride. Like and here's what's crazy. I've been to Disney a few times where I've seen the Haunted Mansion exceed 60-minute wait.
Not just a few times. That was common.
Insane.
I know it's been basically a decade, almost a decade now. But I go back. I saw regular Fast Pass go down. Winnie the Pooh, during a busy season, went from 65-minute average to 40. I mean, it dropped 25 minutes just because the Fast Pass didn't have Fast Pass for a week. I think that's what's going to end up like in California. There's certain attractions. That's what's going to happen here. Look, it comes down to it. You're going to wait for things. You're going to wait. Yeah. I truly do believe. If you want to buy it. If you have the income for it, go for it. But I think this is going to help people who don't know, and also who just don't have that kind of income. They spent thousands of dollars to be here. Frankly, it's not breaking the bank with their pricing right now. Again, right now. Right. Who knows what the future will hold, but it's really not. And if that's what it costs to premium attract, again, Tron and Guardians could have a low enough capacity that this could really help when they first open.
Yeah. And I've noticed that lately their newer rides are lower capacity rides. They're not large capacity rides anymore.
Tell me about it.
They're trying to build thrill attractions, and thrill attractions require safety, require load times.
Well, not even that. They're doing stupid stuff. Navi River Journey, when I found out the capacity on that, I knew that. I was like, who thought of this? Who seriously sat down and thought that was a smart decision, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
My pool has a higher capacity than that ride.
What is wrong with that's the problem. Again, when you have people up here not thinking they need to talk more to the bottom. They build I agree. Safety precautions and everything. Attractions need these, and they exist for a reason, because you don't want to smile. Brian, I don't know if you'll get this. You don't need a smiler instant on your hands. I think you'll get that. I know Tozer does. And for our visitors listening, look up the Smiler Alton Towers in England. Don't worry, just Smiler accident. You'll figure it out.
I've heard Alton Towers. Yeah.
Oh, listen. And if it was a smaller park, that would have been a park closer. That was a bunch of just briefly. A bunch of safety protocols failed on a roller coaster, and it was a disaster. It was an actual disaster. It was bad, broken bones. And
final destination disaster.
Not that far. No one died, but pretty dead. Listen,
pretty close. Pretty close.
That is again. I don't want to. For those of you who will be riding Cali River Rapids in the near future, Cali River Rapids is built safely. You want an example of not? Look up Dreamland. I think it was Dreamland in Australia for their Rapids ride. Go ahead. That's a disaster.
I'd rather not.
That one will give you nightmares when you really read about what happened.
Look, we're just going to stop here. We're just going to save a rock, and we're going to move on with our lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Callaway Rapids is safe.
On a completely different thing, Alton Towers is one of those parks that is great because of the limitations they are forced with. They are forced to be creative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Limitations breed creativity, and they have some great things because of their height limitations they have and noise limitations.
Oh, yeah, no, listen, don't get me. I'm just saying, that's just something, I'm just giving you an example of, there's a reason safety protocols exist, and when they go wrong, they can go wrong. Disney, it also, every country operates differently. The United States operates very differently. That's why other Disney parks in other countries get attractions we will never see here.
Right. Oh, web slingers. That was the other one. Web slingers in Disneyland is premium.
Well, we all knew that.
Yeah.
Ryan, that one was saying.
Yeah. There was another one that they listed. That was the one I forgot about. Web slingers.
No, that's a guarantee.
Just keep in mind, all Disney attractions are safe because Florida's actually very good with safety on attractions. Unlike some states, such as maybe New Jersey, where
Hey! That's
park safety is run by the Department of Agriculture.
That is getting a bad rep right now. You know, first off, Jersey Devil is not unsafe. The issues are happening on Stunt Pilot, not Jersey Devil. So in defense of my hometown park here, which I can't believe I'm defending a Six Flags park, I really can't. Not everything is their fault.
I was targeting like Maury's Pier and Wonderland at Ocean City.
Like,
no.
boardwalk.
I thought you guys don't live here. The articles, Six Flags has had a bunch of accidents this year, and that's been a very big. Oh yeah, no,
they that ends in Y.
Oh no, they've had a lot of, again, not their fault accidents. Their new coaster, Jersey Devil Open single rail, has been closed twice now. But my understanding, all the issues are on their sister coaster in Silverwood. Stunt Pilot is having all the issues.
Now, is Jersey Devil...
So it has better uptime than Viper did. What's the big deal? Let's move on.
Everything had a better uptime. It's a Togo. That was a Togo. Literally everything had a better uptime than Viper.
Now, even the chiller?
Yes.
Hold on. Was Jersey Devil a brand new coaster, or was it a re-themed coaster?
RMC single rail. It's a Raptor. It's RMC. It's an RMC
beautiful.
Raptor. Oh, it's beautiful. It's an RMC Raptor. Oh yeah, single rail. That's why they built two this year: Stunt Pilot and Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil is the tall. It is a world record breaker. It is the tallest single rail. Some articles have left that out. It's the tallest single rail. It ain't that tall, but I understand it is absolutely awesome. The single rail coasters, folks, if you buy one, I've never been on one yet. I hear they are sweet.
For all 35 seconds of ride you'll encounter with them.
Doesn't matter. It's worth it.
You're going to see them as often as you see a boomerang now, I feel.
Because listen, that is the hottest name of roller coasters today. I can't wait till Disney finally realizes we should really contact these people because RMC is killing it.
Well, let me ask you this: if they did, what would the roller coaster be?
Don't know.
What would be your idea? Like if you were a Disney Imagineer and they said, hey, we have this contract with them, create a theme for the roller coaster, what would it be?
Magic carpet.
You can have a magic, but because RMC offers a lot of versatility.
But just think, you have 4 parks, unless you want to count the California ones. Let's just shoot with the 4 parks in Florida. If you were to put a coaster in one of those parks, which park and what would it be? It could be IP, it could be something original, it could be something based around the park itself.
I'm doing something in Animal Kingdom.
That's what I was thinking.
Animal needs it. Animal needs it.
I agree.
And I actually would build. Honestly, I would build an indoor. I would build a building for an indoor Raptor, or even I think they've shelved it. They had a bigger version called the T-Rex. I think the T-Rex, from my understanding, has been shelved completely. I would actually build something indoors in Animal Kingdom. You could build it anywhere and have a nice theming to it. But Animal Kingdom needs some love. Every other park's getting it right now. I know Animal Kingdom. Listen, certainly Pandora's. Certainly they have one of the best attractions on property there, for Christ's sake. But that's where I would build it. As far as a theming,
I don't know what the theming will be, but it's indoor. It's the single rail, and it's going to be dueling.
I can see that. I'm here for that.
You know
I don't know what we're going to theme it as.
Can we use mine cars on the single rail?
Why not?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Dozer here. I'm gonna go back to the original concept that they had for something in Adventureland that they could easily put in Animal Kingdom and just get rid of Dinosaur Land altogether.
Shut up! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Do not touch my dinosaur!
I'm gonna say it. Dual mine car Indiana Jones ride at Animal Kingdom.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Here's my thing. No, if that means dinosaur goes away altogether. Yes, if that means I still get dinosaur themed to Indiana Jones in this. I want both. I'm greedy. I need both in my life.
It does.
Okay.
Well, and here's the thing. It doesn't have to be in Dino Land.
Yes,
they could do something.
Dino Land. It needs another attraction.
I know.
Here's the thing. It needs it. Unless you're building in Africa, it needs it. That's where it needs to go.
Well, and see, here's the thing. Look, for Disney, as much as I love Countdown to Extinction / Dinosaur, it wouldn't cost a whole lot to just redo that ride into Temple of the Forbidden Eye. I'm just saying.
No, don't redo the ride. Do not make it Temple. Make it. I have a harebrained idea. Let's just do the slightest retheme. Let's keep most of the dinosaurs and shit in there. But let's throw Indy in there anyway.
Actually, that was no. Actually, Dozer, that's more than just an idea. That's the most likely replacement is that it's an Indiana Jones theme with dinosaurs. I'm not kidding.
What's the fifth movie about? We don't even know yet. That's
their idea is that would become. That's the idea that was being thrown around. That's why I'm like, you're saying that as a joke. I'm like, that's no joke. That's legit. Keep the dinosaurs
with dinosaurs. So
that's what I'm saying. Dinosaur don't get rid of, because if you get rid of dinosaur, that's a problem. Just with attraction wise, you would need both. Frankly, also the reason I say that, it's almost like if we had a plot of land we could build on, where there might have been another coaster there. Oh, gee. What else? Almost give like Chester and Hester's Purpose. Oh, did I say that out loud?
So wait, so let me get this straight. You're telling me that Chester and Hester's Land, that they're saying that they're talking about making that Indiana Jones and leaving the Dino Institute the Dino Institute.
No, Dino Institute would change to be Indiana Jones themed.
That's what
Indiana Jones finds his way on a stupid time traveling machine, goes back in the past.
No, that's not what it would be. It would literally be Indiana Jones with dinosaurs.
But that's Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Jurassic Park.
You try and come up with a single rail dueling roller coaster in Dino Land and not call it something Raptor. And it's based on a model called the Raptor.
True.
Yeah, no matter what, we're ripping off Jurassic World.
That would be the best location to put it. It would also give people more things to do in Dino Land, if they even call it Dino Land. But that's where I would put it, and I would have it themed. Again, when you have an indoor themed ride, that's where I would do it. Again, indoor themed because you can. In Central Florida, you can run it in the rain. That's what I would do with it. There's other places you could put it, but frankly, every other park's getting love. Animal Kingdom is the one who needs it next. Well, just because
indoor themed land is a lot cheaper than expensive rock work, and we all know Chapek.
Yeah.
Well, also it just pulls people away from Flight of Passage for a hot minute. It gives more reason to be away from there for a little longer. I know what people would say, but you have a roller coaster nearby in Everest. But I get that. But you need something in Dino Land. It could even be a little more tame to the tune of. Even though people considered
Moana.
just saying people consider Primeval World rough compared to Everest. I think that's where I would put something personal.
Well, they are doubling down on this Moana movie because
Moana's already got her attraction being built.
What, the playground?
Yeah.
Well, no, not the water thing. The other playground, like a kid's playground. Did you hear about this one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. I could accept the water exhibit at Epcot. You know, moving waters and okay, I get that. Why an actual playground? I like in addition to this, like
frankly, again, something for kids to do.
But it doesn't even look. I mean, I know it's the beginning construction photos, but I'm like, it looks nothing like Moana. It just looks like a playground.
It doesn't
matter.
Here's the thing, especially at Epcot, you need something for kids to do.
Oh,
that's what it comes down to.
Understand the pool of Moana. Moana is almost more popular than Anna and Elsa in a lot of sects of little girls.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say almost. Moana's a bigger movie, honestly, a bigger movie than people give it credit for. And Moana, girls, even just little kids in general, love Moana.
I love Moana.
Also, let's face it, this is just another way to get The Rock involved.
Yeah.
And as someone who has a little girl and sees all of her friends a lot, Moana is like king.
Now, have you guys seen Raya? I haven't seen Raya and the Last Dragon.
I have.
Is it good?
It's not bad. I like it. I actually think it's a pretty good movie. Just in general for kids to watch, I think it's watchable. It's a very watchable movie. I don't mind it. I liked it for some of its parts. I didn't hate sitting through it. I didn't necessarily watch. I haven't watched it twice, but that's I'm an adult, so
right.
I haven't watched it once because
my
daughter doesn't want to watch it.
It's no Mitchell's versus the Machines, but it's a good movie.
That movie was funny as hell.
Oh yeah, that's why. That's a movie for kids, that for adults too.
Yeah,
But that's I mean, Ray and the Last Dragon. I would not be opposed if someday they did something with that in one of the parks, specifically if China ever needed something, or whatever. I would not be, or Japan, whatever you want to call it. I forget actually where it takes place.
I thought it's like the Philippines or something.
I actually don't know. They're fictional lands, but I don't know where specifically it's supposed to take place, but just in general, something like that. I'd be okay with them doing something there because, again, it's I actually kind of like when they use the more obscure ideas because, Moana's I like what they do with Moana because it's lasting. You don't need to have seen Moana to understand it. Where Frozen Ever After, even though they're spoon feeding it to you, I don't think that's going to last.
Well, not only that, but Moana, keep in mind, Polynesian Resort, they did Moana themed rooms too.
Yeah. Well, again, Moana is a big hit.
Well, they were even talking about at one point. I mean, like when the movie first came out, like I felt like what you said about Raya, like you wouldn't mind seeing something down the road. That's how I felt with Moana when it first came out. I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing something down the road with this movie. And there was actually talk at one point to do some sort of like volcano roller coaster.
Yeah, well, remember, they have a lot of ideas that Wonders of Life almost had a permanent inhabitant for a hot minute.
Yeah. And now that's going to be the Play Pavilion.
Yeah, but that almost had they were looking to capitalize and fast on something, if you get my hint.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
I think you need to have, again, don't knee-jerk ideas. You need to have lasting things. Don't just, we need to capitalize because it's a hot property. I understand why they did with Frozen, because they refused to have an issue there.
Right.
The other thing, and it does make princess-themed attractions really hard.
Yeah.
In that they really can't have a height limit.
Yeah.
Because you tell a 3-year-old she can't ride Anna and Elsa. Yeah,
exactly.
You try that. You try
it. 100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
It's, a lot of times they just want to I sometimes feel, especially current Disney, again, we have somebody who in charge who loves IP.
Oh my God! Yeah.
If it was up to them, it would all be IP and only IP with nothing but IP.
Eisner made the word synergy evil, but dear God, Chapek has turned it straight into Mephisto.
Yeah.
People say that. I think most Disney fans would agree. I would, if you told me if I chop off my hand, Eisner will come back. Here you go.
Yeah.
Just
Bruce,
right here.
we're in agreement on this.
I know
We're in
you.
agreement.
I know
Yeah.
we are. That's why I'm like but just beyond us, most Disney. I think there's a lot of diehards. If you said, tell you what, if you all cut off a toe, we'll bring back Eisner. I can live without a toe. Take my baby.
I can live without it. For Eisner, yes. I mean, at least Eisner gave us like.
But like not current Eisner.
Renaissance.
We will he will be in his heyday. I mean,
Renaissance Eisner.
They say a lot bad things. In the long run, he's gotten a lot of bad press, but that man did a lot of great things for the company.
I think the only thing that really was the spiral, and I don't even think it was him. I think it was the death of Frank Wells.
Yes, we've covered this. It's the death.
No, 100. There's no doubt. 110%. He doesn't die. We're having a different conversation.
A pure creative genius needs the business guy. So, talking about what ifs, because on my other podcast, Such Good Shoot, the podcast about anything and everything in the world of wrestling, last week we interviewed Mike Chioda, legendary ref of 31 years in the WWE and F.
I can't believe we got to the Mike Chioda. It's just like, the things you must have.
As part of that, WWE's been on this kick of just firing people left and right. They're really trying to make their numbers look good.
Future endeavoring people.
Yes, a lot of people have indicated that they're getting ready to sell. Mike, unprompted, out of nowhere, just said, "Yeah, I hear they're going to sell to Disney."
What? What?
Questions? Wait.
Hold
on. Questions, because one of your shows appears on something that's owned by Universal. I have questions. I have all the questions.
You mean all their content is on something owned by Universal?
Oh, God, you're right. It is.
It's all on Peacock.
It is on Peacock. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was thinking just USA. Holy crap. I have questions. I have all the questions.
But you know who owns the other big half of it? Fox.
Well, yeah.
Which is owned by Disney.
Owned by Disney, yeah. That I knew. But just like a lot of their, oh my gosh, we could have some nice synergy with this. I am on board with this.
And I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So you're telling me everything with WWE, everything, they're looking to sell to go to Disney.
Yeah, sell the company full lock, stock, and barrel. Vince McMahon out, the McMahon family out.
So,
I guess ESPN is WWE.
I don't know.
That's what I would have.
I look at this as he's a referee. He was a very legendary referee. He was involved in higher end talks, but I still take it as a bus driver conversation at this point.
It is. Well, listen, anything is entirely. We all know anything is entirely possible. I could see it happening. I could see WWE want to bolster their stock.
Look, when you own streaming services, content is king. And their agreement with Peacock is 5 years. We're a year down about now. So 4 years. Most of these big M&A transactions take 2 to 3 years to finish anyway. By the time, you get all your ducks in a row and get it lined up, you'd be just ending the Peacock.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm just gonna throw it here. Leverage. I don't think I need to say anything more than that.
Leverage.
For
what?
There's a lot of things that could be leveraged in a deal for this to work. If everything's on Peacock and they're not in for Universal to want to unload and everything, you want to talk about. There's all sorts of leverage that could be worked with this. Oh, you want to keep WWE?
You want this back? We want.
You know
more that
leverage. That's the thing. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot that can be done with this.
All right, so you're basically saying, so in this scenario, you're saying that if Disney were to snag WWE from Comcast, they can basically say now, we want all rights of Marvel back.
Not all rights, but there's certain things that could be in play. That there's a lot more than just in the parks. There's a lot of leverage that can be pulled here. A lot of leverage.
Yeah, but don't forget. what was it, the Al Roker deal? Was it Al Roker for Marvel
Al
characters?
Roker. No, I don't think it was Al Roker. It could have been Al Roker.
It was Al Roker.
I thought it was a sportscaster.
No, it was what's his face from
Gumball.
No, it wasn't
Was it
Gumball. It was the other. It was the I see his face. He's like a white heavyset guy.
Joe Buck.
Was it him?
You've named like half of the sportscasters. In the world.
Can't remember. It's one of the sportcasters.
I'm just having fun. I was going to start just naming. I was just going to name Chris Collinsworth.
It might have been one of the Gumballs, but Disney had them, sold them to Universal in exchange for
Oswald.
Yeah, and I'm just saying there's leverage.
It was Oswald. Okay,
it was Oswald. Yeah. I'm just saying these are big media companies that have all sorts of options. If that's the case, leverage.
Yeah.
All this is about is leverage. The companies love to do it to each other. Everyone says, "Oh, they fight. There's a feud." There's no feud. They love this. They live on this. They love having leverage and play around here. It's fun to them.
They feed off of it. That's what it is.
Thing nobody considers, because your average Joe is going to be looking at this going, yeah, well, what's the big deal? It's just WWE. The amount of content they bring. Yeah. They put on a 2-hour weekly show for over 1,500 episodes at this point.
Yeah.
They have another one that's creeping up on 1,000.
I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say the word that needs to be said here. Merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to, I believe it was 1999 here. When there was a parade in a house in Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights, and The Undertaker. Just saying, there's all sorts of Haunted Mansion merchandise I could see here. I see Tower of Terror. I see all sorts of fun things.
But you know who also used to be a pro wrestler who's now like Disney's golden boy?
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson.
Bob Backlund?
No, Dwayne Johnson.
Shush you! Don't you? If you say it's like Beetlejuice. If you say Bob Backlund, I said it again. Oh no! If we say it again, Bob Backlund. Oh, I stopped myself. He's going to appear. It's like Beetlejuice.
It's like Candyman.
If you say his name, that's 5 times. I prefer that to Beetlejuice. That's only 3. If we say Bob Backlund 5 times, we're done. We're done. By the way, Candyman comes out this weekend. You all should go watch it if you can.
It looks good.
It does look good. I'm a big Candyman fan. It's great. Tony Todd. Keep Tony Todd in business, ladies and gentlemen. Love Tony Todd.
Since we're talking about Candyman anyway, what's going on in Horror Nights, Bruce?
Well, I gotta tell you, this evening. I was outside. I was at the grill, and off in the distance, I paused. It was hypnotic. I heard the sound. I heard a chainsaw somewhere. Oh, Horror Nights. Oh, you're almost here. Do we have news for you? We have officially announced all 10 houses, and it's just 10, but we've all 10 houses announced. They announced the originals. We're doing HHI icons. Welcome to Scary, confirmed. Puppet Theater, Captive Audience, confirmed. Wicked Growth, Well with a Pumpkin, confirmed. And the last one, we have Legendary Truth is indeed a house. I'm blanking on the name right now. Legendary Truth confirmed. That probably is in the Shrek queue. We still don't know where they're going to be, but we think we know where they all are. So we have our 10 houses confirmed. We have our scare zones confirmed. 30 years, 30 fears. Lights, camera, action. Eddie's Revenge. Scare zones are coming back. We've seen them popping up in some of the stages. Only ones I've seen so far definite. I've seen Vamp 1955. Excellent scare zone. Shrieks and Foons. That's an Islands of Adventure one. I'm excited for that. I'm hoping for Foam. I've seen Invasion. Gorewood Forest. She's back. Terror Queen's back for that. Crypt TV is indeed the scare.
Can't wait.
Seek and Destroy looks to be.
I can't wait.
Destroy looks to be great. But Gorewood Forest, as much as I'm excited for that, it is just Central Park. The 2 best scare zones right now we're looking to be Seek and Destroy in Lights Camera Action. So we got all that. We have theming going up. Your tents for food and booze are all themed to houses this year. Looks excellent. I've seen facades for all of them for the most part. Menus are going up. I think I read one did open early. We have merchandise available. ShopUniversal.com has Horror Nights merchandise coming up as it comes up and such. Not everything is there yet, but we have some great looking stuff. Horror Nights is coming. September 3rd's right around the corner. I heard team member previews are on August 30th or 31st, but we are almost here. I am less than a month away from going. Horror Nights looks like they are really pulling out all the stops here. From what I can tell, the theming, I've seen the pictures are coming out online. I've seen obviously the facade for the sound stations we won't see inside. I've seen the facade for Welcome to Scary. I've seen some of the facade for Puppet Theater that looks pretty awesome. I haven't seen Realm of the Pumpkins. Wicked Growth is hard because of where it is. You really have to get behind the scenes to get to it. But yeah. This looks excellent. A lot of merchandise coming out. A lot of Bride and merch. Oh, also, how can I forget? Since we're talking about companies that own things, NBC Universal. Who owns USA? Who happens to own Sci-Fi? Don't worry. He wants you for a best friend. We don't know what it is. It's not on a list, but I'm pretty sure we see a set for Chucky's Insult Emporium. The puppets come in to make fun of you. It's over by the bridge between Simpsons and Harry Potter. And where the night bus is, that's where the boxes are. Again, there's Chucky merchandise. They are plugging the heck out of that TV show, not Child's Play. Chucky being specific, it is just the TV show and the character, not the film franchise for obvious reasons. They don't own the name to that, but they own the character. Well, they own the name, you know what I mean. That's why
IP is fun.
It is fun. That's why the movie's changed to just being Child's Play and Bride of, Seed of, Revenge of, Cult of, TV show, which you haven't seen the trailer, looks excellent. It does look really fun.
I tell you what, I'm really glad to see they are going more original than IP this year.
That was the rumor. It's no secret, I can say it. Billie Eilish was that. Revenge of the Tooth Fairy was reconfirmed, like Bride Lives. Those are both back. Billie Eilish was the last house. We understand Billie Eilish pulled out, which I'm happy with because Legendary Truth, other than the fact that there's tentacles in the artwork, looks to be awesome. I love the idea of going to a Legendary Truth house. I've yet to actually meet them in person, going through a house, so I'm pretty excited for the originals. Honestly, and even the IP. They're considering Bride and IP. Fine with that. That looks great. Beetlejuice will be fun. Hill House, I'm on the fence with. I don't think it'll be that great, which means it'll probably be excellent. Come on. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, as I said, you've heard me talk about this before. Even if it's a recreation of the 2016 house, that was such a good. If you're a fan of the movie, that was excellent. But in a soundstage, I'm sure. I can't wait. I love that. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a good year. We don't know about protocols and everything yet, but we'll see as it all unfolds. But it's coming fast and furious. I would assume Blood Day is probably this week or next week. If you don't know what Blood Day is, that is the day they spray all the houses down with fake blood. And I mean, they take the sprayers through and spray these bad boys down. Oh, that looks visible. Spray it! I'm excited. We are here. Oh, also, in case I didn't mention last time, all tickets are available. Single day tickets and your passes. I got myself a Russia Fear Pass, which happens to end on September 26th, the day I leave. So I make it like a bandit on that. Express is available. It's all available. Halloween Horror Nights 30 is here. It has been 2 long years for an official event. Folks, the end is in sight. The chainsaws are ready. Get ready. We are here. We are live. And it's for nothing else than Halloween Horror Nights 30. Never go alone. Also, the commercial was released, which does look excellent.
Yeah.
There was an excellent commercial. Jack walking through. It again plays on if you go alone that you get trapped and hidden under Universal, which feeds the screams. A lot of merchandise featuring Jack. I don't know. The 2 shows. Marathon of Mayhem is back with the original show. There is another stage show. There's a shirt for a 3rd show featuring Jack. Hasn't been announced, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the 2 shows are Marathon of Mayhem and Halloween Nightmare Fuel.
It's Halloween Nightmare Fuel. I think it's a Jack themed show. There's a shirt with Jack and Chance on it for a show. Again, that could just be a Jack shirt, which looks cool. A lot of the merchandise is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it might just be a Jack shirt because the Halloween Nightmare Fuel is a new show, is igniting Halloween Horror Nights featuring fire, pyro, and aerial performers. So it's probably like one of those street shows.
No, it's not a street show. It is indeed in Fear Factor Live.
Oh, okay.
If they only announced 2, and I know that Fear Factor Live is ready for a show. We believe that's going to be there. If there's a Jack show, it could be a street show. Jack could be involved. They just haven't made an announcement yet. I understand there are rumors that there's a certain show that was around for the last few years. There's rumors that they were not allowed to return for all sorts of fun reasons. So I'm not Academy of Villains fan, but there were a lot of rumors circulating that a lot of shit went down, and they are not allowed back. Again, we don't know, don't care, but man, oh man, it's the park. If you see photos online, everything's shaping up. We're the only thing missing. We're missing one thing, and I bet portals are out next week. If you don't know what I mean by portals, that's the stands for the entrance to the houses, so we'll know what goes where they are, and then we can infer from there. We know where they're going to be, but Beetlejuice is in the one parade house, Haunting a Hell House is pretty much in the other, Puppet Theater's in one sprung tent, Wicked Growth is in the other. We know the Men in Black tent is Welcome to Scary. We know what's in the sound stages. We know where Pride and Tooth Fairy is. Icons and Texas Chainsaw fill in there with
It's like a concert. Like I'm looking at the lineup of the houses, and it's like the headlining houses. It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like the headlining for a concert.
Those are headlining because they're on merchandise for IP.
Well, yeah, you know.
Which there's a lot of in fact, if you haven't seen it, the Signature Artist Series, which they did last year for my boy Jack, was awesome. The Signature Series shirt and poster for Bride Lives is awesome.
See, I'm looking at these houses, like the art just looks gorgeous, and just reading the description of the original ones, honestly,
they are here and they are here to play.
Well, Case Files Unearthed sounds like the best house in my opinion.
Legendary Truth.
Like
that's it. Case Files Unearthed. That's a Legendary Truth one I couldn't remember the name of.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Follow the trail of a private eye as an investigation into the supernatural leads you into the dark world of ghouls and terrifying creatures. That sounds awesome.
It's going to be awesome. I change on icons. It's going to be awesome to see how they change.
Look at. I mean, if you go on their website, the cover looks like an old comic book. Like it's got this like 40s, 50s noir type like comic book, and I'm like, oh man, if they can have like the sets look like pages from a comic book. That would be cool. That would be cool.
You mean it's also like he's an ultraviolet comic?
Something like that. Or if everything's in black and white.
No, remember, they've done Ultraviolet Comics has had in between.
Oh, that's right.
Ultraviolet, they've had comic book houses. The entrance could be themed to This could be themed to Ultraviolet Comics, and we just don't know that yet.
Right.
This also could be a 3D house.
See, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like 3D houses. They're just they're not scary. They're just annoying because I'm wearing the glasses.
See, I disagree. I thought that I used to think I was like you. My very first trip to Horror Nights, I did think that.
So I did when what was that, James? This Is the End when that came out.
They did that one in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that out there, and I used to feel
that. No, I used to feel that way. My very first Horror Nights, Halloween Horror Nights 21, my very first year. House number 2, the in between. I was a bigot. I judged houses because they were 3D. That house kicked fucking ass.
Really?
Oh, tied for House of the Year.
Really?
Awesome, dude. When the 3D houses are hit or miss. That was the best of them. That's probably the best 3D house that Pod have ever done, I've heard. You had other misses in there. They're not always gold, but when they do a 3D house, that was the first. I was like, really 3D? How scary could this be? Room number 1, I got a scare in. Big scare. I was like, oh boy, I'm in trouble here.
All right.
It was my second Horror Nights house ever, mind you. But that was before I really knew how they were constructed. I honestly, I doubt it is because I think we would have known that. I'm just saying it theoretically could be. They did the last 3D house. One of the last. No, I can't say that because then the last 3D house. No. I was gonna say the last 3D house they did. It's not. I was gonna say Alice. The Alice house was in the Shrek Theater. No, Alice. Alice Asylum in Wonderland. That was in that. I was going to say that the last one. No. Again, I blocked it out because it was so bad. But Lunatic's Playground, You Won't Stand a Chance, was in the Men in Black tent. That was the first house in the Men in Black tent. That was terrible. But again, after the in between, it was hard to do another 3D house on top. But 3D houses are not all bad. For the most part, if you're doing them away from a major event, they're not great. They're usually just gimmicky. But I will say the in-between changed my mind forever. That house was awesome.
All right.
Also, you should do them with a little of this in your system.
Oh, alcohol? Absolutely.
Well, because that first tunnel, woohoo!
I trust me. Every time I go to Halloween Horror Nights, I start drinking, and
I know this looks, it's always hard to tell what's in here and it's dark. Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through. I have procured some of Pat O'Brien's mix to get myself ready.
Now out of all the houses though, I think the one that's probably gonna be the most fun is the Halloween Horror Nights icons captured. That is just gonna be
that's my number one excited house.
You do realize that will probably be the longest line.
You know, I don't think so. I think it's honestly...
It's that or Texas Chainsaw. It's one of those. Those are going to be the two biggest lines.
Beetlejuice. We all know that. It's because Beetlejuice is on the...
Yeah, but they kind of already teased it this past year.
No, people were there. No, they didn't tease it. They had, again, a rumor has it they contractually had to do it. And so it was only open for one day. So I know people who did. No. That's the thing. Again, your biggest IPs, HHN Icons obviously will have a huge line because, well, this year I think we're going to have a lot of the diehards going, and that's what diehards go for the originals.
Right.
I think Beetlejuice is going to have a huge line. Hill House will have a huge line, also because those two dead end in 2 weeks. But more than that, those two dead end there. So you're going to have a lot of people who go there, do those. I would think the sound stages always have huge lines, so there's no doubt. Icons is going to have a huge line. Texas Chainsaw, and just be by extent where they are. The current maps have actually, the two houses you get first are Bride and Cases.
Are they first when you walk in? Like where?
That's what should be first. That's what on maps. That's what's first. Bride is the first house with being in where they are, and then Cases Unearthed is in the Shrek queue. That's also, but the Shrek queue does have a penchant for not opening on time. And remember, for Stay and Scream, usually HHN Icons or Texas Chainsaw would open early with Bride.
Well, this is also, is this the official or is this speculation map?
Speculation map.
Okay.
Again, Bride is in its place. Tooth Fairy is in the right place. Beetlejuice is in the right place. We're pretty sure these all map out to be the same because of what we knew from last year. Puppet Theater, 100% is correct. Because people have pictures of that queue, you can see that from where they were. Wicked Growth was probably there. We know Welcome to Scary is 100%. We're pretty sure that speculation map is on the money. The speculation maps in the past are pretty close. They're not always 100%. But more than that, like even the one year, they said Oz Well, it was Oz was poisoned. That was Scary Tales, Deadly Ever After, because it was Wizard of Oz was the overall theme. Technically, the overall theme of that. What could the Wicked Witch cursing? Here's this is my curse. All the fairies are bad. The bad are now worse.
So looking at the map, so I guess Beetlejuice and Haunted Hill House are behind.
In the parade buildings. They are in the kids zone area.
Yep, I know. Okay, I'm looking at. I had the map backwards.
They are in the Beetlejuice. 100% is in that parade building. You would probably the way they were doing it. You're going to enter and go past Curious George. Have one continuous line around in the house, out and back out, exiting by ET. You go past what used to be the Barney Theater for Hill House, snaking around to the second parade building.
Okay. So Revenge of the Tooth Fairy was where, I'm trying to remember the last time I was there. Revenge of the Tooth Fairy was where the Dracula Untold house was. That was the last time I was at Halloween Horror Nights. Was the From Dusk Till Dawn, Dracula Untold.
Oh my God, you're making me go back to HHN 24.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the layout. So, because we did the map, and I'm looking at it. So it looks like Revenge of the Tooth Fairy was the
yes,
Dracula Untold. Walking Dead is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's where Walking Dead was.
No, it wasn't.
No, you're right. Walking Dead was where Bride of Frankenstein is.
No.
Yeah.
That was the entrances. Walking Dead was in the back soundstage. That's where the Walking Dead was not in that soundstage there. Walking Dead was in the back sound. I'm just saying that might be where the entrance was, but they were in a different soundstage. Walking Dead was in a soundstage by itself. That's where they did Poltergeist and Stranger Things. That was in the back soundstage, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive, but that's where the entrance might be. I believe Dracula is where Tooth Fairy would be. These sound stages are shared. I'm pretty sure these are both being shared. Tooth Fairy is where you had Dead Waters. Tooth Fairy was where Scary Tales. Us, because from last year, the videos I did see of it, when you're walking in, you have that long hallway where they have the banners where they're telling you the story of the Tooth Fairy with the kid's talking to his mom. I'm very excited about getting to witness it in person. Tooth Fairy definitely seems like a me house, even though the most me house I think is going to be Puppet Theater Captive Audience. I have avoided, you can see, folks, if you're interested, Puppet Theater Captive Audience actually has pictures all over the internet because the Peacock thing they did. I have avoided looking them like the plague. I've looked at a few because I can't help it, but I'm really excited about that one. This is a good slate. Honestly, this might be one of the best slates I think they've done in quite a while.
So with Puppet Theater, what do you think the chances are we might see certain famous puppets like, I don't know, as Easter eggs because it's not an IP?
100.
So you think we're going to see Billy the puppet from Saw? Annabelle? What about...
Don't mention that second one because I don't think there's a reason we haven't seen her before. We haven't had The Conjuring. So I don't think we'll see her. It's hard to say. I certainly think a Chucky doll. Again, sometimes Billy from Dead Silence is a high likelihood, and he was, again, I've seen him up front. Sometimes they're hidden in the back, the Easter egg puppets. But certainly having a Chucky doll in there is highly. Both Billies are highly likelihood.
What about, remember the old sci-fi horror film Puppet Masters?
That's possible. It is possible.
Just give me a room. Just give me a room with them just like on a shelf.
I know. Again, they'd possibly be in the background. Puppet Masters is possible. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to be honest here because this shocked me. I know Doza is very bored by this segment we're doing. There's a horror movie that's out right now called Baby Oopsie. The actual name of the movie, which people watching who are horror movies may understand, if I said Baby Oopsie Daisy, it's actually a movie based on one of the demonic toys. Yeah, if you remember Demonic Toys, the movie, I was like, what? I found that out. My buddy sent it to me. I was like, this looks creepy. And I did a Google search. I was like, you're kidding me, right? It's possible we can the Demonic Toy and Puppet Master. I don't know who owns the rights to those in there, but I know they like to reuse props, and they own both Billy's and Chucky dolls.
Well,
I think we're going to see one of those.
Well, and Universal, I believe, does own Puppet Masters.
but they haven't had necessarily a puppet master house.
No,
so
but I'm saying, but they could use like Easter eggs for puppet theater because it's an original
could,
house.
but I'm more going on. There's a warehouse out there. There is a glorious warehouse where they reuse reprops like it's going out of style. They love to reuse props. I'm just saying I don't know if they've made a prop for them before.
For all we know, honestly, knowing Halloween Horror Nights and the twisted and the the gore that they put into this, it's probably going to be an idea where they turn humans into puppets, just like what they did.
Oh, we already know the story.
Yeah.
No. That's the story was, at least from what I read online, is that there's an earthquake in California or something happens to trap people in this theater, and the troupe goes and starts turning the captive audience, and the staff of the house into their puppet creations. And they're coming at you from all different angles. Again, some of the pictures I've seen look creepily demented. The first I saw the opening of this, and then I stopped and I'm like, I don't want to watch. I don't want to spoil it. I first thought they were in a soundstage by what I saw, and then it makes sense. They're in a sprung tent because everything was destroyed by an earthquake. This, on the speculation map 2 years ago, was listed as earthquake because of the anniversary of Universal Studios period in the earthquake logo. If it's true, this is earthquake because an earthquake traps them there. Puppet theater.
Gotcha.
That's what I believe.
So here's the scare. They actually listed scare actors for puppet theater.
No! Stop! I told you I'm avoiding that. I don't want to know. No.
Oh my God! I'm looking at the pictures right now.
I've seen a few of them. They look awesome.
They do.
They do. It looks like
wow.
such a good house. You know who Michael Aiello walked through that? Greg Nicotero, head of Walking Dead and Creepshow. I mean, can you imagine that? That's a conversation. You get to talk with Greg Nicotero and Michael Aiello. Like, that is like talking to Tony freaking Baxter to me. You're talking to a man. Oh, Michael Aiello, wherever you are.
That's like me with like Tom Savini. Like, my God.
Oh, Savini. Oh, there's a name for you. Oh, Savini.
I'm surprised they haven't reached out to like one of those guys to create a house. Like just Greg Nicotero presents like his house, or like Tom Savini presents.
Nicotero has helped out with Walking Dead and Creepshow.
Well, no, I'm saying though, like him because of him being a horror master with makeup. Like, I'm surprised even as like a scare zone, like to just show off his work. You know what I mean? Like Greg Nicotero presents, or like Tom
again.
Savini.
We don't know. They haven't talked. Again, it could have been in Hollywood. We just never heard of it.
True.
It could have been a while ago. We just never heard of it. Also, he could have helped out with the horror makeup show, which if you've never done it is awesome.
They need to update that.
Do they? I haven't done it in a long time.
They need to update that. I was there like three or 4 years ago, and it's still the same show. They still talk about Van Helsing. Like, they need to update that show.
Listen, as much as they do, I know Jack is there, and that's all that matters to me.
I know.
Jack
now, what I do like about the show, though, is that because the Rock and Roll Graveyard Review is no more, Beetlejuice is the greeter before the show starts. So that is kind of cool. He's basically doing stand-up comedy before the show begins and like calls people out in the audience. It's actually really fun. Because he comes out there and he's standing around, he's walking around the audience, It's
also nice because, in case of a little history there, at one point in time, James Keaton, who was Beetlejuice in Bill and Ted, is what every Horror Nights fan knows as Jack the Clown.
Yeah.
Which is a little. I love that. It's one of those things that I know they haven't changed it. But I still think I recommend people to do it because if people don't do it, I'm afraid it'll go away. I don't think they will. The part of the logos they're doing for the event, there's a lot of shirts with. I'm a little bothered that he's on so much merchandise. We have Chucky, Frankenstein, and Jack. They have a face mask. They have a logo shirt with him. I have not seen that's one thing we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen a event shirt or the house shirt yet.
Yeah.
Which are definite instant buys if you're going to the event. Also, that's one thing I haven't touched on. I forgot to mention, in case you guys haven't seen the pictures, the Tribute Store has a real facade this time. It's a literal house built. Oh, they built a house to walk. You walk into a door of a house. It looks so cool.
What's the what's the house, or is it just the Tribute Store as like a house?
No. It's like a physical. They built like a house.
Oh, I was thinking like a haunted house.
No.
Like they turned it into
No. They built like a physical house facade, which is a little weird because it is in the middle of Seek and Destroy. But who knows, that may fit into the theming. I'm very, very, very excited. The Tribute Store, I think, is opening up possibly by the end of the week. I heard that's the rumors going, which I just can't wait to step my ass inside.
Seek and Destroy, that's not based off of Metallica, is it?
Seek and Destroy is not. An alien race has taken over the world and using humans as the power source.
Look, if they don't play Seek and Destroy while walking through Seek and Destroy, I'm walking out. I mean,
they might. I'm sure they will, but I'm expecting more alien background noise because again, if you look at the props they've set up, they're harvesting alien. They're harvesting humans. Where is that sound from? Softenstein. But they're harvesting humans. Seek and Destroy looks awesome.
Now, here's what I'm wondering: why in the hell did they not put that with Men in Black?
Huh?
Well, no, I mean like Seek and Destroy the scare zone. Why didn't they put that near Men in Black?
Huh? There's no scare zone over there. No. There's no scare zone there.
I'm just saying they should have had something adjacent or near it or something.
Remember, Men in Black is a very hard area. Snack stands, 2 houses, bathrooms, air conditioned to wait in the Men in Black gift shop that's always open to have merchandise.
And
also, you have 3 houses. Well, you have Simpsons. No, so remember, Simpsons has their own scare actors there. Usually, they have a bunch of clowns that run through there. Who knows if they're still going to be there? And I'm not going to say anything for people who go, but I'm just gonna offer a word of advice. Good luck walking across that bridge because you're gonna have Chucky at one end, and who knows what's gonna wait at the other. If those clowns are there, they love to hide at the end of that bridge. And trust me on this, you never know when they're gonna be there. I walk through and literally. I give it one of these. I give it one of these over-the-shoulder looks of, you hide behind that post. I know you're there. But that a scare zone would not actually be feasible there because of the bend and everything. I think their Seek and Destroy belongs where it is. Plus, New York usually has the best.
True, you're right. Yeah, if that's in New York, that makes sense then. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because also in the past they wouldn't have had it because. Maybe next year, Bill and Ted would have been there. They usually have the stage show there. It just doesn't offer enough room to. People tend to congregate there. If you've never been, you have 2 houses next side by side there. There's a lot. 3 if you include the Men in Black tent. Where Welcome to Scary is, which is the 30th anniversary. There's a lot going on over by Men in Black. The scare zone.
Go on.
I'm sorry. No, go on.
Have they ever done anything with Cousin Eddie from Iron Maiden? Because I feel like they should.
That's actually a good idea.
As far as I'm aware, no, but that would be up to the contractual agreement. That would be up to that. No, not that I know of. Again, it's possible it has in an earlier year than I'm aware. My knowledge, I have a lot of knowledge even back to the early days, but it's not like what other people's are.
Yeah, I have zero knowledge, so I'm here in the Eddie zone. I looked it up. I know it's Jack's brother.
Eddie is Jack's brother. The Eddie is also an unused. Brief story with Eddie. Eddie was supposed to be the icon of HHN 11, ICU, intensive care unit, ICU. The problem, 9/11 happened. Horror Nights was at a precipice. They had to make a decision. They had the event, but toned it way back. Brought Jack back, scrapped Eddie. His house existed, but not as intense as it once was. In Run and Scary Terror Tales became Scary Tales. The rest of that is history. But there's certain icons for other reasons they haven't used. Again, the Caretaker was not the icon that year. It was originally but became canonically his daughter. It was supposed to be a young girl named Cindy. There were a bunch of child abductions in Orange County, Florida that year. They said, oh, can't do that. We better change our mind for the times. And they moved to the caretaker. The rest, again, history. But yeah, canonically, Eddie. That's why it's Eddie's Revenge. That is all about scare zones of the past, from what I can tell. That's why I saw Van 55. If you guys didn't do that, that scare zone was awesome. I am not big on character interactions, like characters. Everyone knows that. Interacting with people in the Van 55 scare zone was an absolute pleasure. Walk up to a guy who was the principal of the high school. Yo, running. Some people, no running. Me, who says that? This guy turns around with a paddle. Me and slams a paddle against his hands. Board of Education. Gone. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, okay, nothing. That was great. Excellent. I don't need to talk with anybody else tonight because I'm afraid it's going to ruin.
Sounds like a plan.
That's why they haven't used it in anything. Anything's possible when it comes to bands. They've done more artists than bands necessarily. Bands would be more for Hollywood. Slash has done music for Two Houses. That would be more there because Hollywood's more of an event for people to be seen. It's also a dry event. I would like to go someday just to double coast it, but
I'm excited. I'm excited to go.
Oh, this is going to be great. Honestly, I know I would never go. You've heard me say this before. I would never go for the first weekend again because it's not. They're still working it out. All the bloggers are there. They're still working out their kinks. I'm glad when I'm going. But like a lot of people, the early press for 29 was not good, and I went to 29. I had a freaking excellent time.
Are you doing the Behind the Screams tour at all? Or are you just doing? I'm assuming you would be doing Behind the Screams.
We do unmasking. We do unmask. Honestly, I cannot recommend. I know it's a lot of money, especially through the Six House tour. I cannot recommend enough the unmasking. I've had houses that I have going back to HHN 27, the Hive. I did not like the house. I couldn't stand it. I had a better appreciation for it after doing the unmasking. I really understood. You understand what they're going for, and if you have someone who's truly afraid to go, 90% of the time they'll do it and they know where everything is. Listen, I've done this and been surprised afterwards. I also did this and got scared by a fake Michael Myers. I don't like to admit that. My buddies called me out of the I start running through the next room to try to get away from them. No, get back here. You know where all the fake Michael Myers are. Did you really just jump at one? Shut up. I did. I jumped at it good too.
How much?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you did just hear Mr. Van Tassel here plug a behind-the-scenes tour after bitching about character integrity earlier in the show.
It's different. It's different.
How much is it? How much is it?
I believe the Six House tour now is like 130, 140. It's a lot of money, and it's a long day on your feet. You pick your time, but you get there, you're all day. You do 3 houses, take a break, do the next 3. You're walking room for room. The tour guides know everything. They really go up soup to nuts. Now, the big thing used to be pictures. The tour guides I've done that have liked to do what they call cameras up, cameras down, because of all sorts of reasons why they're not allowed to take pictures. The actual thing I think is that people were bitching because people have had their IP houses revealed, and it certainly doesn't look as good with the lights on because they're meant to be seen with the lights off. So that's what people have apparently were like, no, you can't have them posting pictures. Contact me personally. I'll tell you a way to do it. I can tell you ways to get around the system. I'm not saying that. No one, please don't watch me.
Well, I'm just thinking.
I know nothing.
I don't know if I have time to do the behind the masking. I'll probably
you probably don't.
Yeah.
For you, with the way you're going, you probably don't have enough. Listen, they do offer a 3-house unmasking. There's 10 houses. You're not going to go through any of them. The way they started, it used to be random. You didn't know which ones you were going to do. The way they started doing it is the 6-house tours did the same 6 houses. In 29, they did this. The 3-house tour only did 3 houses. In 29, the 3-house tour did Graveyard Games, which I really wanted to do. I didn't get to. Universal Monsters and Killer Clowns. And then the 6-house tour, we did House of 1,000 Corpses, the 2 Sprung Tents.
That was fun.
It was fun. That we started with the House of 1,000 Corpses, yeah. Depths of Fear, Nightingales. We walked through the facade of Us, but they said we did Stranger Things. Us, there wasn't much to see. Stranger Things, Yeti, and I'm blanking on the 6th house right now. It'll come to me. It was a soundstage house. It'll come to me. Doesn't matter. It'll come to me. It was a soundstage. It was one of the other soundstage houses. I'm just completely blanking on the name right now. Ghostbusters. I'm like, it'll come to me. There it is, Ghostbusters. But if you get time to do it, they have a 3-house tour. It's worth doing. We love it. We started doing it, and it's a must-do for us. We're also diehard fans of the event.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I think I might do the event.
What we like to do. We like to do the event, do the unmasking, and do the event. Like we're doing it all on Saturday due to group restrictions with what we have going on with our group. So we'll do the unmasking, go back, take a break, and come back and do the event again. We may just do our favorite houses. You know, if it's busy, we may not. Who knows what we're gonna do? But we like to do it that way. That I've done the house once. Perfect example. Halloween Horror Nights 28 Poltergeist. I hated it. You've heard me say this before. I got on the house. I was so excited for one of my favorite movies of all time. Such a letdown. Got through the house. Had an absolute appreciation for what they're doing. Disagreed. It's a bullshit thing. Other people loved it. It was bullshit. I still think it was stupid. But I at least understood what they were going for.
Fair enough.
Even though it was bullshit. Yes, and I'm using that. It was fucking bullshit. That was stupid. Half the house was avant-garde, and I hate that.
And speaking on that, Bruce, you need to watch What If.
Yeah.
I do need to watch
you need to watch episode 1 with caution.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thank you for the warning. I do need to watch What If. We'll get there. But speaking on What If, I have seen the episodes listed. And for those listening to the podcast, we've actually touched on this before. Since one of the episodes is Marvel Zombies, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell calling. It's possible now, baby. It's possible.
Yeah.
And, that Spider-Man trailer unveiling everything.
My God, that
it was beautiful.
Strange in a sweatsuit. I love sweatpants Strange. I do.
Which, by the way, have you heard? It's back. It's back. There are people saying it was Mephisto.
No.
Oh, I've heard.
It wasn't Strange. No, it was Mephisto.
Shut up. Who? Come on. I love Mephisto as the next person. Don't get me wrong, but come on,
not
kids.
This is all right. So watching this Spider-Man trailer, I couldn't help but notice the underlying reference to this movie. It comes out in December. I couldn't help but notice how this film is eerily resembling It's a Wonderful Life. Because the whole point of this movie is that Peter wishes that no one knows that he's Spider-Man, as if he doesn't exist.
And then, what do you mean? No one's going to work?
And then what happens, because it's, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, he doesn't understand because he's still a kid, he messes up the spell and causes a breakout in the multiverse. It's all his fault.
I love it. It's going to be great.
It's a Christmas movie. It's going to be a Christmas movie at the end of the day. It's going to be this whole thing at the end of the day where he's going to be able to be like Merry Christmas movie house, and he's going to accept life and appreciate who he is. And and here's the other thing too. I don't hope it's going to happen, but I think it is going to happen. This may be the last Spider-Man film we're going to have with Tom Holland. It's going to be.
No. It is entirely possible.
It's going to be the Christian Bale trilogy. I'm telling you this right now. The way how this trailer showed, I have a feeling it's going to end with Miles Morales taking on the helm as Spider-Man and not Peter Parker. You watch.
Well,
it's going to be more of a departure, a farewell.
Yes.
To somebody's time in the MCU.
Here's the thing also.
Happy.
Not just with the MCU, we don't know what the contract is with Sony going forward. There's been a lot of rumors about what if Tom Holland's not there, and the reason is because possibly Sony. We don't know what Sony wants to do. I think Miles Morales is a potential. Obviously, we have a game, but also I think there's a better option for Miles Morales to appear someplace. I don't know. Maybe a TV show. Maybe a Young Avengers thing. Maybe Miles Morales makes the jump from Manhattan to Jersey City. Just saying. And if you don't know what I mean by Jersey City, Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. Hell yeah!
I'm just going to say I live in a world where there is a Disney Junior show that my daughter loves that has Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, and Miles Morales all in it at the same time.
I love Miles. I do. It's hard to say what Sony wants to do because Sony seems to be at a crossroad. They can't seem to release Venom. They have so many Spider villain movies out in the pipeline. It's like I don't really think Sony should just sell because I really don't know.
It's funny you should say that because apparently Disney is trying to put an offer on to get Sony licensing for Disney Plus.
Sony should consider, especially when it comes to Spider-Man, because we have some people who seem they can do no wrong when it comes to Marvel. On the other hand, you have Sony who's finally doing good, but it's kind of because you're partnering with the MCU.
Right. Well,
you take the MCU references out, these Spider-Man movies won't be good.
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing without the MCU.
It took how many movies for them to realize, wait a minute, we have somebody who literally handles special effects as a villain. Maybe we should include them. It took how many movies to get there?
How many series did it take for them to realize, wait a moment, he's a teenager. He should be played by someone young.
Well, yeah, right. There's a lot that goes into this. The timeline is, when think of it, Spider-Man's timeline, there's all sorts of, we had Green Goblin before we had anybody else. Green Goblin comes if you don't know the comics, Green Goblin actually is a huge Spider-Man villain. That comes in way after his transformation. And I'm talking, Doc Ock is before Green Goblin, for Christ's sake. You have Mysterio, and a lot of other villains are way before we get to the Goblin.
Morbius. You get Morbius before the Green Goblin, too.
Yeah, well, that movie, I just can't. I just can't with the fact that I'm sorry, I just can't. I'm sorry, Morbius and Silver Sable should not be getting her own movie. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous.
The only thing that comes out of this Morbius film is Blade. That's the only reason why this film is.
That's because they want to do a dark thing. Listen, I love Blade. I love Moon Knight. I love Morbius as a character. I don't need a Morbius movie.
Speaking of Moon Knight, did you see these alleged photos that were leaked online?
Yes.
My God, does it look gorgeous? Like the costume.
I'm here. Listen, Moon Knight starts the MCU shows that I've been Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Ms. Marvel are the shows I have just been clamoring for. Though when they announced the list of shows, the first few were fine, but when I saw those titles, I'm like, I'm sorry, just skip to those.
Yeah.
Especially She-Hulk. Just skip right to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
The one that got me most interested is the one that's on right now. What If? Like when I saw the initial slate, I'm like, that's my show.
What If sounded great. Don't get me wrong. What If definitely sounded great.
I'm telling you, that first episode, I got hooked. I was like, we're in for a ride. That whole first episode.
I wait until we have more episodes out. I know they're not canonically connected. I just want to wait till we have more episodes.
Well, right now they're not. Right now they're not. I think they're going to be doing a WandaVision thing. I think they're going to be these one-off stories.
And remember, this is not just stories. Also, don't forget, these were comics.
Oh,
This
no,
is
I
not,
know.
this is, no, just for people watching. I know, I've talked to people like, what do you mean? I'm like, these were comics. And
Yeah,
trust
they
me on
were.
this. I'm very curious for Spider-Man ones because Spider-Man What If comics are many things. Happy? Not on that list.
Well,
Well-
and here's what's interesting: the Spider-Man in What If looks like Doctor Strange. He's wearing the cape.
Well, just Spider-Man's What If
It's
comics.
Peter Parker. It's
Yeah,
Peter
but no,
Parker.
Spider-Man's What If comics get real
Yeah.
where Spider-Man becomes more famous than anything else. They've had ones where he doesn't marry MJ. Like there's the Spider-Man What If comics. There is no happiness there. It is all sour.
Well, episode 2 isn't quite happy, so.
No,
I'm not saying it's happy. I'm not saying it. No. I'm not saying that the other stories are happy. I'm saying specifically the Spider-Man stories, from what I remember of the comics, are not all. There are no fuzzies at all. It is all bad. All alternative Peter Parker has nothing good in store for him.
I will say, regardless of anything, of all the actors that couldn't find the time to lend their voice to What If, apparently Batista was too busy to voice Drax.
yeah.
They say Batista was never offered, is what he says.
He said, and they say they couldn't get a hold of him.
Take that for what you will. Well, let's face it. Batista is his own worst enemy when it comes to some of this stuff.
He may not even come for Guardians 3.
Who cares? Apparently he already let it loose. They're killing him off in Guardians.
Hey, honestly, I don't want to give too much, but after watching the second episode, I'm all right with that group as my Guardians for Volume 3. Just give me
besides the obvious problem.
Well, yes. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace, is no longer with us. But the Ravagers that were in that episode, I'm okay with, like including the surprise appearance of an individual.
It doesn't matter. I'm excited for Guardians 3 because let's face it, the person who's helming Guardians at this point in my eyes can really do no wrong because Suicide Squad was
fun. That was fun.
That was the perfect Suicide Squad movie. I thought it was a joke. I actually thought they were joking about Starro being the villain. And when Starro appeared, I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's a joke, right? They're not actually doing Starro as a villain.
They're doing
come on. That's not really happening. And sure enough,
I actually forgot about Starro until the trailer dropped when they showed Starro in the trailer. And I remember watching, I'm going, what?
I still thought it was a joke. I thought it would be an opening gag. I had no idea that was going to be one of our central villains. I was like, shut the fuck up. Come on. If you haven't seen it, Suicide Squad was really good.
Yeah.
It's on my list. I don't have a lot of time to watch movies.
No, I know you don't. I'm just saying, if it leaves, when it does come back, James Gunn, and the reason I bring this up, because James Gunn knows what he's doing. He made changes I didn't necessarily love to some of the characters, specifically Polka Dot Man. But this change worked for the film. I like how Polka Dot Man is in the comics, but his change still worked for the film. And that's why I say Guardians 3, James Gunn at the helm, nothing matters because he's got it.
I want the Weasel. I want more Weasel after Suicide Squad because his brother did a terrific job as that Weasel.
Well, yes, but I love his brother mostly because I'm a reluctant Gilmore Girls fan.
Yeah.
Wait, what was his character's name in Guardians? Because I liked him
Kraglin.
in Guardians. Yeah, I loved him. Yeah, he was funny.
No, Kraglin. I need more Kraglin in my life.
Again, just Gunn. But that's the thing with Guardians. James Gunn he knows what he's doing with this stuff, and he just makes it go. The moment he signed up. I can put on my tinfoil hat with the conspiracy theory that this was meant to be, that this is all, he purposely had Disney fire me so I can do this movie because I can do Suicide Squad right, and that's what the people want. Yes, that's what we wanted. Also, the biggest thing of Suicide Squad that I'm just happy about, I gotta tell you, everyone wants to talk about The Rock being the wrestler turned actor. I freaking love John Cena. I cannot wait for this series. John Cena, Idris Elba in that movie just killed. Like, it's just, I'm like, everyone talks about The Rock, and I love The Rock. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, when did
John-
Cena get good at this? And he's good at this. That was excellent.
Because he had more shit. He had more shit movies than The Rock.
He did.
I know.
Excellent. It's like, oh my God. See, he was going on. I'm like, Cena, when did you get competent?
Yes.
Here's what happened. I can tell you what happened. Cena got to the point, especially in his wrestling career, where he knew not to take himself seriously.
Yeah.
And
that's what works with all of his characters in these other movies.
It works. Again, it's if you haven't watched Suicide Squad, if you have HBO Max, it'll come back, but you have another 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks to do so. I know we're a Disney podcast. I'm talking about DC now.
Who cares?
It is worth watching. If you like the superhero stuff, it really the last Suicide Squad movie angered me because it wasn't the Suicide Squad. And again, we have some returning faces, and let's face it, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller is just, she can do this blindfolded. It was just, I love every scene with her. I'm like, yeah, you are the Amanda Waller we need.
Now,
Amanda Waller fan.
Now, say what you will. I mean, yes, hands down, James Gunn did a terrific Suicide Squad film. What would make this trifecta unique, but take it a step further, in my opinion, I wouldn't mind. It's a stretch, but I wouldn't mind Tarantino directing a version 2.
No, he can't.
Really?
No,
really?
Suicide Squad.
I don't want that much dialogue.
Suicide Squad has a irreverent way it needs to be done. Honestly, there is one thing missing from this. And for most Suicide Squad movies, there's one thing missing, and that's the ever-present, when's Batman going to appear? Because it's not a matter of if, it's always when. Yeah, he was in the first one, but he's usually going to interfere with whatever the F they're doing. But he's usually in Gotham. Suicide Squad does a lot in Gotham. They're not doing that here. Again, it's different Suicide Squads. I like what they did with it. If there's all sorts of things, and I like that it was kind of a standalone film. James Gunn has said it's a standalone.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit. I think you guys have heard me say that before. This is a part of Crisis on Infinite Earths. We all know this. Come on. But I don't, Tarantino, there's a certain way to do the Suicide Squad. They haven't done perfection. The only other, I'm waiting for the game. What I want to see what Rocksteady does with the game. This is Rocksteady. I might be messing up the name there. Whatever. I'm ready to see what they do with the game because that should be fun as well. With Tara Strong back at the helm. Yeah, baby. That's. I love Margot Robbie. I love you as Harley. Don't get me wrong. I do. But
she was born to play that role. But
she
honestly,
was. But Tara's the Harley for me now and forever.
True. But honestly, John Cena as the Peacemaker, he was born to play that role.
John Cena's Peacemaker, Idris Elba's Bloodsport. We had people that was just like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, this is a cast. They really got this.
Even like Pete Davidson, like as a small, I forget which role he played, but his character was great.
All of them.
Even Sylvester Stallone. Even Sylvester Stallone is King Shark.
King Shark. This was, first off, does that mean we're going to get Sylvester Stallone whoever plays Constantine eventually? No, of course not.
No.
But, that is who King Shark does date at some point. That does happen, canonically. But this was the Suicide Squad movie that the fans deserve. The Suicide Squad is meant to be the way it was done.
Let me ask you this. So, they gave us this film. Where do you think this Flash movie is going to go? I mean, like, we're getting Michael Keaton. They're giving the fans what they want. We're getting Michael Keaton back as Batman.
Brian, you opened the door for the best answer here for me. The trash can?
Really?
I don't, honestly, the problem is we have such a good Flash TV show. The Flash TV show was so good. I stopped watching eventually, but the Flash TV show was so good. The Flash movie, does it have a plot at this point? Do we have a script? That's garbage.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the DC stuff. unfortunately.
Give me a trailer. Give me.
I'm sorry, DC. I'm rooting for you. I love comics in general. I love the Marvel stuff. I love the DC stuff. I love this stuff. But you're not pulling your weight. You're not pulling out good stuff.
I don't know.
One of your best movies is Aquaman, a movie I'm predispositioned to not watch because to me, Aquaman is a horror movie. It's not a matter of if Topo will be involved. It's a matter of when Topo will be involved. And at that point, Bruce can't watch. No, too much anxiety.
The problem with DC is so much of this comes down to the founders of the individual universe. You have Marvel being founded by Iron Man and Barvo, or I can never say his last name. Who cares? We all know who I'm talking about.
Who? Oh, yes.
He is.
Just call him Danny. Just call him Danny. I'll know who you're talking about. Just say Danny. If you don't get that, kids, watch The Replacements.
And he set it up perfectly with a fun, happy tone, but still serious, still touching on all the big notes with lots of great action and set pieces. You have DC being set off by Snyder, who has his thing, and it's all sepia tone and dim and gray and not funny.
Right.
You forget your comic movies. It's okay to be serious and funny. Even Batman, it's okay to be funny at times.
Well, and the thing is too, like Marvel, they actually have a blend between comic and action to it. I mean, there is some. I don't want to say it's all dark, but there are some dark tones.
Of course there are. Any story has dark moments and everything. There's always going to be dark stuff. It's the problem of when you here. I'm just going to go to Batman here. When you have Batman where Batman's dark and Joker's not bright but just less dark, it's supposed to be a contrast. Joker's supposed to be bright colors and all. It's supposed to be the exact opposite of Batman. When you have a Joker that's really not that bright,
yeah,
you need the contrast. You need the fun. Hell, even this comic is fun and funny.
Marvel's universe. The
Punisher.
Yeah.
He kills the entire Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
We have Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness is a comic. But that's why we hear me talking about this What If. Literally, Bruce Campbell is fighting Marvel Zombies. It's awesome. Or Ash, I should say, is fighting Marvel Zombies. It's awesome.
Well, and on top of that, I actually have Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. That's a great series.
Deadpool is its own different. Listen, now that we finally have Deadpool where he belongs, it's going to be great when he finally does come in. Deadpool's his own irreverent category.
I just cannot wait for him dropping the Disney liners in his film because you know he's going to joke about Disney in his movie as a company.
Oh yeah. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be like John Oliver and AT&T. But
yeah,
it's going to be. Listen, it's going to be Deadpool's, but Deadpool's his own category when it comes to certain things. Because I get Deadpool's more like the Suicide Squad. You're looking for irreverent, over the top. You're not looking for this average stuff. Deadpool. That's what the movies were good. They did over the top, and they did it well. They got the right guy for the job. They did everything right about it. That's what made it right. We had the right situation. That's where DC fails. They've been trying to play catch up and they've been doing it wrong. You've picked the wrong opportunities. I don't want to get into Snyder Cut versus J.J. Abrams and accurate accusations, but it's just simple as this. Why wasn't it Hal Jordan?
Well, here's
Cyborg?
Here's my question too. I love the Nolan trilogy. And then they released Man of Steel after Dark Knight Rises.
Me and you will never agree on that.
I liked them. I mean, I liked Batman and the Dark Knight better than the last one, Dark Knight Rises, but that's because Heath Ledger died and all that stuff. But those stories were good. And then
that's your problem with Dark Knight Rises. That's your issue.
No,
that's your only issue. Not about doing a character injustice.
Well, Bane, yeah, they did that Injustice, and Joseph
They
Gordon-Levitt.
did all of them injustice. Bane deserves what he deserves. It is time to give Bane what he deserves. I rest my case.
What, being partnered up with Poison Ivy?
No, Bane deserves to be one hulking CGI beast, and two, Bane deserves his backstory. Bane deserves to go, oh, I feel bad for him. Bane deserves better than what all of the Batman villains in the Nolan trilogy deserve better than what they got. There,
Even Ra's al Ghul?
Even Ra's al Ghul, even Talia al Ghul, even the Joker, there, I said it, he sucked. We all know he sucked. No one wants to admit it because he died. There, I said it.
I'm not touching that with 20-foot ball.
Sucked. It was not the Joker that was terrible.
I mean, I'm not saying he sucked, but,
terrible. Blech, boring.
I mean, okay. I mean, if you
would, there was no Mark Hamill.
This is true. Nor Jack Nicholson, nor Cesar Romero.
It just was not what I would think I want from the Joker. I just didn't like. I don't like his. And this is listen. This is something we're never gonna agree on. I'm not saying your opinion's wrong. I don't like the grounded and realness shit. I never have. I never will.
So you never cared for Joaquin Phoenix then either?
No. Oh okay. God. Oh God. First off, don't even get the fact that it's not a canonical movie. The movie's a hit. Everyone loves it. Oh, by the way, it's canonical now. That's not how this works. No, that's not how this works. That's never how it works. You can't tell me it's one thing and change your mind because, oh my God, people like it. I guess we should make it canonical. Well, he really wasn't the Joker. He's what inspired the Joker. I don't like this backstory shit. I didn't like it on Gotham when we tried to give it to him. I don't like this backstory shit. I never have. I never will. There's certain things there's three. I know when I get it. The Joker, part of the problem with the Joker is how I had the problem with The Hangover. I've had friends that have a problem with Hamilton. I came in too late to the hype. I didn't pay to go see it in the theaters. I waited. I eventually, when it was free, I saw it. It just couldn't meet the hype. Everyone's telling me how amazing this movie is, and I'm sitting there going, when do we get to the amazing part? They built it up too much. Again, I'm not liking it for liking it. I'm knocking it for liking it. People like it. That's nothing wrong with that. I personally don't. And there's nothing wrong with us having different opinions on it. It's like the Nolan trilogy. I just don't like our comics grounded in realness. That's why the Nolan trilogy doesn't really work with the DCEU. Mainly because it's physically impossible for Batman and Superman to evolve in the same universe when we're grounded in realness. It physically is.
Let's get to something we can all agree on. Jared Leto sucks.
Oh God, yeah.
Whoa!
Don't you even.
And I just want to push your buttons, man. I just want to push your buttons there. I draw the line at Jared Leto. Yes,
Listen, I'm aware. I'm alone. I am a lone ranger here. I am on my horse by myself. I know people love Heath Ledger, and I'm not saying that you can't love him as it. He would never be the Joker. Again, I don't like this grounded in realness shit. I never have. I never will. That's why we could never do Killer Croc, Clayfaces, all sorts of villains Nolan could never touch. That's why his pool was so small. Because how are you going to ground half of this in realness? That again, Superman is never going to be grounded in realness. It just isn't.
But here's the thing, and it's the thing that makes Marvel different than DC. The first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Pretty actually grounded in realism.
Yeah.
But as they get more unrealistic, they explain it in ways that make the whole universe feel cohesive. So it doesn't feel like you're suddenly having Mephisto in the middle of a perfectly grounded, realistic story of just humans battling out with humans.
Well, and that's one thing, and you're right, because one example that comes to mind is Mysterio. I loved the whole story connection with Mysterio in Far From Home. They all have home in it.
I'm sorry, there's too much home shit in these titles. They really needed to change these. Let's just call them 1, 2, and 3.
Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, it's all home. And I'm sure Spider-Man 4 is There's No Place Like Home. So
it's like Fast and Furious. You're just calling family at this point?
But no, I loved the tie-in with Mysterio going back to Tony Stark. That was awesome. Because you have a Spider-Man character that we all know from the comic books, being a magician, illusionist, all this stuff in the Spider-Man world. But the way how they tied it in, and fact that it wasn't just one person, it was a team of scientists that worked at Stark Industries. That was cool.
I agree.
That was a
very
cool,
much like the Vulture scavenging Stark tech.
Yes.
And alien tech. They made it make sense. And the DCEU just hasn't done that.
It has.
We have this perfectly grounded in realism. But wait, here is this weird Pandora's box that is now going to summon one of the most legendary villains in all of DC history, and we're going to squash him in 5 minutes.
And we also have a god of the sea too, because that's real. Atlantis is a real city.
That's what I mean. The problem is when they were grounding a realness. Even Ra's al Ghul, I'm like, you're trying to ground this in realness, really?
Well, Ra's al Ghul, like Batman Begins, I could pass off as like something that
Batman Begins. I liked what they did. I liked what they did with Batman Begins. I did. I certainly did. But as you start going, I remember when they were trying to talk Penguin, and he's like, well, Philip Seymour Hoffman didn't want to do it because, I'm sorry, Philip Seymour, you should have done it. You would have been great. And I don't want to step on Danny DeVito's toes. Oh, God.
And then, do you know Patrick Stewart was offered to play Mr. Freeze?
I could see it. See, but again, Freeze is one of the most sympathetic villains. Let's put that down. Talking about right there. Freeze is usually sympathetic,
but again, coming off of Arnold Schwarzenegger and probably the most horrific, comical, cheesiest Batman film ever made. How would you make Mr. Freeze realistic?
But that's the thing. You can't make him realistic. It just doesn't work.
Exactly.
None of this works. Poison Ivy doesn't work. And I love Ivy. Don't get me wrong. I love a lot of these characters. None of them work realistically. That's part of the problem. When you start looking at some of Batman's back catalog, how about Clayface, Ivy? I mean, you start looking Mad Hatter. You have Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I would love for somebody to have the balls to bring Wesker and Scarface into this.
Yes, I was just thinking that too.
Yeah. I would love somebody to have the balls to do that. But you have a lot of these back villains. That was part of the problem. Killer Croc. You have a lot of villains that he just. That's why he had. Even when he did Bane, I'm like. Everyone's like, well, yeah, I'm not saying Tom Hardy's not a big guy, but Bane is supposed to be the Hulk. Bane is supposed to literally, when he's on Venom, be able to literally throw things like a softball. He's big, but could he actually have picked Christian Bale up and taken him over his knee?
No. Yeah, exactly. No, I do agree with that.
Bane's backstory is, if they did it right, not to cut you off, if they did it right, Bane's backstory is heartbreaking, dude.
So it is. So speaking of Batman, there has been heavy rumors out there. You guys probably have heard that there is a version of Batman Forever that is the Joel Schumacher cut, the director's cut of the film that we got with Tommy Lee Jones and all that in the theaters. When Joel Schumacher passed away, he actually has a additional, I think, 30, 45-minute cut of the film that's much, much darker than what we got. There has been rumors that this may see the light of day.
I'm sorry, but they really lost. It's different times back then. But the same way, what they talk about the Snyder Cut, if this really was the best movie, wouldn't they have released that in theaters? Forget this. The studio was afraid of my movie. They're scared. They're too afraid. If it truly was the best, wouldn't the studio say this is going to make the most money? Let's do it.
True. But at the same time, I think...
That's a different story because, listen, he passed away. That's a completely different story. This is a completely different story here, but I'm just saying,
Well, it's like what did they do with the Dick Donner cut of Superman? Richard Donner, they released his director cut after he passed away.
Yeah, well, this is because it's been so long. It's different than the Snyder cut, which really wasn't that long. It's just everyone was saying that. Frankly, to save face. Oh, well, you should see the other cut, which not that great personally. But you should see the other cut because that's the real version that we should have released. A 4-hour movie. That's what people really want to see because we couldn't do it in 2.5 hours.
So, like the two scenes in particular that they've been talking about that are in this cut that people have seen that are, and it's not like some that they have to rework and re-edit. Like these are full-blown scenes.
Well, it's different because it's a fully completed movie.
Right. One scene in particular, so if you remember the old Batman Forever, it was just that Batman went to the bank robbery. Like he just reported to the flight, like the scene of the crime type deal, and it was like the aftermath of Two-Face leading the bank robber. Apparently, this film actually shows the full bank robbery in progress, like from beginning, middle to end, like the whole setup, which kind of reminds me of The Dark Knight, but I digress. The other scene that I kind of want to see is Bruce Wayne comes face to face with Man-Bat.
I'm out. You lost me. You had to go there, didn't you? You knew reaction was gonna bring.
Yep. I've just, like you talk about deep cut villains, I'm thinking, well, how deep cut is Man-Bat?
Honestly, Court of Owls, anybody?
Yeah.
Listen, there's some deep cut villains. Man-Bat also had a pretty good stake in the Arkham game of Dark Knight. Not Dark Knight, Arkham Knight, Dark Knight.
One of them.
Arkham Knight. No, the Arkham Knight. He was one of the rogues in Arkham Knight. To me, that's kind of too little, too late kind of thing. That would be fine. Listen, you want to release that? I have no problem with that. The Snyder cut was something I feel completely different on.
Look, in the world of streaming, if there are these other cuts of movies that exist, expect to see them.
Of course.
These streaming wars, they're going to heat up. We're going to see random shit that comes out of nowhere.
Oh, we're going to see
a cut exists of the movie that they don't have to do anything but just slap a name on it.
I want Song of the South. I want Song of the South.
Are we going to see a director's cut of Super Mario Brothers?
Who directed that?
A team. You haven't heard the stories. It was like a husband and wife team that was apparently a disaster. Bob Hoskins literally called it a fucking disaster.
The whole film was a disaster. I remember
No. But he said like filming it. He goes from day one. We had a rookie team, a husband and wife, or director. He goes, it was a fucking disaster from day one. Like apparently filming, not just the outcome, but like filming it was a real disaster. Yeah, listen, we're finally getting Mario with Illumination, last, but
have they announced like casting for that movie at all? Like voices?
There's a comedian who I know is doing the voice of the boss of the Mario Brothers boss.
Because I have casting for Mario and or Luigi. He can probably do both. Tony Shalhoub.
Well, first off,
he was Luigi.
Yeah, but first off,
Luigi from Cars.
While you're saying that, Martinet just died.
Who?
Mario just died. You didn't see that? I think pretty sure it was Charles Martinet. The guy who did Mario's voice throughout the 90s, he's dead.
What?
Just died. Yeah, like a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
No shit.
Uh-huh. So but what I know is there's a stand-up comedian who does the voice. I forget the character's name, but he's the working crew voice. The boss, he's like their boss, the Mario Brothers boss.
Huh.
The wrecking crew. So he apparently is voicing their boss. I'm here for it. Whatever they do, I'm fine with, mainly because this is a stepping stone. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm here for it.
Have you guys watched the Sonic movie?
Yes.
Is it good?
Dude, I gotta tell you. Yeah, it's actually
really.
I'm excited for. First off, you have to remember something. Before I go anywhere, I am not a Jim Carrey fan, and to the extent I do not like Jim Carrey, I really don't like Jim Carrey. The movie's excellent. It just is. It's one of the best video game adaptations. Idris Elba as Knuckles is genius casting. There, I said it. It's genius. This is gonna be great. I loved it. Honestly, my niece and nephew loved it. Sonic was a surprisingly good movie. It just really is. Compared to all the other crap video game movies we have, Sonic can go the distance. And
so what was the premise of this film? Like, I saw the trailers. It's like live action with CGI Sonic, and Jim Carrey is
Sonic has to leave his world, and he ends up here eventually. He only has so many portal rings he can use. Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik.
Time out. What world? Is it the video game world, or like just
Green Hill Zone?
So he comes out of the video game.
He's been here for quite a while. He has to escape the Echnidas, I think Echindas, however you say the Knuckles race's name. But Knuckles race comes after him to kill him, so he has to escape. And he ends up in here. He meets whatever reason. The basic plot is he loses his coins and has to get them back. And Dr. Robotnik, he causes everything for Robotnik to come out. This is not. I was angry when I'm like, this isn't Dr. Robotnik. By the end of the post-credit scene, we're getting full Robotnik. We're getting Jim Carrey does not have the Robotnik look we're used to. The post-credit, there is a post-credit scene. He looks a lot more like Dr. Eggman. So in the sequel, we'll expect Dr. Eggman. The Chaos Emeralds are not here. The sequel apparently is going to involve them. Tails is in the sequel. Also, I recently threw an Instagram post. Miles per hour.
You said Tails is in the sequel.
Tails comes in at the very. There is a scene at the very end. Tails comes into Sonic. Tails is part of the sequel. He's part of the logo. But more than that, I never knew this. His name is Miles per hour. We all knew that. Miles per hour.
Oh my God.
It was there in front of me the whole time, but I was a kid and I never could see. It took a meme on the internet, like mine. I was like, son of a bitch, it's literally pinned there in front of my whole life.
Miles per hour. Oh my God.
Miles per hour. Yeah, you're welcome. Don't you laugh down there, Dozer. Come on.
I'm gonna have to watch this movie now.
Honestly, it's a kids movie. I've watched it multiple times. I love it. It just, as far as there's a lot of crap video game movies out there. This would have failed. They listened to the fans. When they listened to the fans and redesigned Sonic, that was it. That's all it took. It was fantastic. It just as far as a video game, I'm not listening. As far as a movie goes, it's not like The Godfather. There's other fantastic movies out there, but you know what I mean. But for a video game adaptation, a kids movie, it was watchable. It was entertaining as hell. Like I said, my niece and nephew, I had to leave when they were watching it. They came back like, that was really good. Is there another one? I'm like, they're making another one, in fact.
And we have the bombshell of the day, everybody. Sonic is not the Godfather.
No. That's the title. That should be the title of the episode. That's the title of the episode. Sonic is not the Godfather.
Honestly, if there's anything that gets me to break this down into little shorts for YouTube, it's this episode.
Yep.
Because Sonic is not the Godfather needs to be its own little bit.
Yep.
And we've killed Bruce. Oh shit! Did he get some of a Joker's smiley gas over there?
Oh, looks like Bruce is taking some brand X.
I'm dead.
X gonna give it to you.
This is Bruce's ghost talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. Gone. Bruce has left the building.
That's funny.
Thank you. I needed that.
I think on that incredible revelation at 2 hours and 22 minutes.
This is amazing. I work tomorrow. I need to get to bed.
So do I.
Oh boy.
So until next time, I've been Dozer. That's been Brian. That's been Bruce. We're the Diz Idiots. We're the idiots so you don't have to be.